Hey everybody, Smiles here with Gaming to Smiles, and thank you so much for your patience. It looks like we are rocking and rolling, and we are live. Gameplay is working perfectly, so I am excited to jump in here and play some Pokemon Sword and Shield as we climb up to the Master Rank. Let's go! Well, before we do that though, we got our intro video, so let's go ahead and get that queued up, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Sorry folks, this always happens with the intro. Hold it. Hey folks. Sorry about that. This always happens with the intro video at the beginning. Has like some glitches. I don't know why. I guess I'll have to figure that out. I think it's just my computer is kind of old, and it's having a harder time handling the frame rates. But anyways, let's go ahead and rewatch it one more time. Hopefully this will work, but if not, we'll just hop into the gameplay. Hey everybody, Smiles here with Gaming with Smiles, and I am super excited. Welcome back to our online Master Rank battles. I just got a new team ready to go, and I'm super excited to premiere them on this episode as we climb to the Master Rank for October's Doubles series. So here is the team. Please work is the name I came up with earlier today. But yeah, I hope you're also enjoying the music. This actually comes from the Marvel vs. Capcom and Marvel vs. Street Fighter soundtrack. I thought I'd throw a little old school, you know what I'm saying? And speaking of old school, I actually brought a lot of Pokemon from the Kalos region to compete in this battle. So we have Politoed. Politoed is a Pokemon I've used both in my online battles in Kalos, my online battles in Alola, and now my online battles in Galar. So it's really cool to have this Politoed all the way from those old games back up here. It has Parasan helping him Scald and Protect. With Drizzle, main thing here is to really just set up a lot of defensive buffer for my team. Modest Nature, and it has the effort ribbon in the Master Rank. I might change it to the Master Rank ribbon. Let's go ahead and remove that and add that one. There we go. We also have Hydreigon, all the way from the Kalos region. Hydreigon is sporting Dark Pulse, Earth Power, Protect, and Draco Meteor. I was kind of debating between Protect and Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon is nice to deal with fairies. But ultimately, I decided to go with Earth Power and Protect just for a little bit added security here. Dragapult is a really great Pokemon. I enjoy using it a lot. We have Corviknight. Corviknight I have used before in different teams, but this one I've restructured it to utilize Body Press, Iron Defense, Tailwind, and Brave Bird, mainly to help my team get a speed boost, especially with Hydreigon. With a speed boost, Hydreigon is absolute monster. I have Goodra. This one actually just made it today in the Kalos region. Goodra doesn't have any ribbons, no biggie. Adamant Nature, Assault Vest, and it has Power Whip, Iron Tail, Rock Slide, and Breaking Stripe, helping to deal with Gastrodon and other water Pokemon with that Power Whip, and kind of adding a surprise factor, especially with the Assault Vest. We have Dreadnought, who is our premier Surfstorm user. This one is actually a Gigantamax, and the reason why I opted to make Dreadnought Gigantamax was to utilize the G-Max Stone Surge. It's a pretty rare move, but the idea behind this is to help deal break Focus Sashes later game and things like that, making it easier for me to break down my opponent. We have Klefki, the once imperfect. Klefki has Thunder Wave, Metal Sound, Dazzling Gleam, and Light Screen. Main thing here is to help kind of weaken my opponent's special defense. This can help Hydreigon a lot in the long run. And then I feel like I'm missing one more member of the team. Oh no, that's everyone. Okay, so Klefki mainly supports Hydreigon, but can also help out Politoed. Kind of looking at this, I do recognize I am using a lot more physical with 3 physical hitting and 3 specially hitting, but mainly Hydreigon is going to be the offensive pressure here. So we'll see how it goes. Also, I actually changed this stream up where I don't have the team on the right as usual. Let me know if you prefer it or not. I would love to hear y'all's thoughts on that. I'm trying to play around with my layout. I want most of the gameplay to be the center focus here. And so that's why I kind of moved to that direction. But would love to hear your thoughts there. If this team doesn't work, I have other teams I can come up with. And that I already have baked in, so not a big deal there. So we got a whole new season of ranked battle. I do actually need to try single battle again. Yeah, they can check out my team. Why not? I really don't care. And let's go. So we'll go ahead and use please work, and let's see what we can do to make them, well, work. Alrighty, so our first battle of the day and first battle of the season. Let's see who we're going to be facing off against. So we got Seapost up here. And Seapost is rocking a very interesting team with Barraskewda, Duraludon, Jolteon, Mienshao, Rotom Heat, and Gothitelle. So it does appear that this opponent is going to be very electric based and seems to be prepped against water in general, but I feel like I can take advantage of that. I could probably use Hydreigon using a speed boost and really hitting that Gothitelle with a super effective Max Darkness. I can also take advantage that Mienshao might come out with a fighting type move, or Duraludon might try to hit with a dragon type move to really help Hydreigon in the long run. And I think that Corviknight Hydreigon actually is going to be my lead here. Using Tailwind and then setting up with I don't know if Corviknight might be the key. I think instead I'm going to use Klefki Hydreigon. Thing here is that Jolteon I will definitely underspeed, but I can at least use fake Metal Sound and then hit it hard with a Max Quake or an Earth Power there. And I can slow down the other Pokemon. Rotom Heat, unless if its Choice Scarf doesn't outspeed Hydreigon, so I'm not as worried there. I think at the end Politoed would be helpful, as well as Goodra. Well, physical Goodra. I think I'll go with Dreadnought instead. I didn't feel as confident with Corviknight just because of the electric Pokemon, but we'll see how that plays out. Luckily, though, I don't really have... My opponent will probably have that Barraskewda just attack whatever, thanks to that Propeller Tail, ignoring redirects and things like that. So luckily in this team, I am not going to use any redirects. So we are going to see the Barraskewda, Duraludon, and I am going to lead off with Hydreigon and Klefki here. So this does kind of prove a kind of interesting spot. I feel like I want to protect this first turn, and I'm going to go ahead and Thunder Wave the Barraskewda. Next turn, I'll then use Metal Sound on the Duraludon, but I don't feel as confident hitting this Duraludon immediately. I can also Light Screen. I could have Light Screened as well. And the opponent is going to activate that Dynamax early. So we'll see if the Protect will be enough for Hydreigon to survive this next hit. So Duraludon isn't the Gigantamax version, just the Dynamax one. So the will be lowering my attack here, in this case with the Max Dragon, but I don't really care about that. So I am going to get this Protect off, which is really nice. I'm going to set up this Thunder Wave to make it easier to deal with Barraskewda in the long run. We are going to get the Max Wyrmwind, as expected, into the Hydreigon slot. I take that decently well through the Protect. Light Screen would have helped to reduce that even further, but no biggie here. I'm hopeful that with the combination of Metal Sound and Max Quake, I can get this knockout. The Weakness Policy definitely will help deal with that and help negate anything there. And we're going to see that close combat as well, protecting the Hydreigon slot. So, I think that Max Quaking the Duraludon... No, actually, you know what? I am kind of worried that Max... Lower the special defense. Yeah, I'm going to go with Max Darkness on the Barraskewda, and I am going to Light Screen here. My main fear is that Duraludon might ram into me with a Max Guard, and I don't want to lose that momentum here. Hopefully with the light screen as well, I can survive one more Max Dragon, but we'll see. It might be a little interesting how this plays out here. I am a little bit over half HP, but hopefully this light screen will give me some breathability here. So we are going to get this light screen off, hopefully deal with this Max Dragon coming out if he decides to go for the Max Dragon, and he does. So good call there, just in case. Dealing with the Barraskewda early on will be helpful, and that lowered special defense will be helpful here too. So able to knock out this Barraskewda, which is great. We are going to see the Max Wormwind one more time into the Hydreigon slot. Ooh, I survived with 3 HP. Woo, that was dangerous for sure. That was a very risky play. It most likely, though, is this Duraludon doesn't have Protect, so I feel confident ramming into it next turn. We're going to see Jolteon. So Jolteon will probably outspeed Hydreigon, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and Max Quake the Jolteon slot, and I think I'm going to go ahead and hit this Metal Sound on the... yeah, I think I'm going to hit the... Yeah, I'm going to Max Quake the Jolteon slot. And I'm going to hit Metal Sound. This will make it even easier to deal with Hydreigon, or deal with Duraludon later down the line. But the problem here is that Jolteon's probably just going to... Oh, actually, I got really lucky here. Jolteon just goes for the Shadow Ball. I take that... ooh, a crit. Okay, that's not fun. Jolteon reveals the Life Orb. So I will get this knockout here. But luckily here, that also makes it easier to deal with Duraludon in the long run. So, able to knock out Jolteon. That's really nice. And actually, that does set us up in a good spot for Parasong near the end game. We are going to see a Max Lightning into the Klefki slot, actually. So this is really great for me. That just gives Hydreigon one more turn to go ahead and use Earth Power on the Duraludon slot. And it's probably going to get knocked out here, which is really nice. That was very lucky on my turn. And we are going to get Gothitelle. But at the end game here, Gothitelle doesn't really threaten too much. Gothitelle, so trying to set up Gothitelle to raise its defense. But honestly, at this point, I knock out Duraludon. It's game, set, and match here. I get actually one more turn of Dynamax, which is awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and get this Max Quake off. And I am going to Thunder Wave the Gothitelle slot just so I can get some free paralysis turns here. So this is really great. Gothitelle isn't really going to be able to do much against Politoed. And yeah, no, we got really lucky. I'm glad that the opponent did not... it targeted down that Klefki slot. That just meant so much, giving me myself some breathing room. Gothitelle does go for Ally Switch, but I think at this point, it's not going to make too big of a difference. I do get off the Thunder Wave. I could have gone, actually, thinking about it, I could have gone for Max Darkness. I think with plus... I mean, the Max Quake is nice in the long run, but I also could have... I get close to the knockout. I don't get the knockout here, which is okay. I think with Politoed... yeah, Klefki can just hit Dazzling Gleam. We are going to get this Flash Cannon knockout, but not a big deal at this point. Yeah, I could have hit Max Darkness. I think that would have been enough to knock out Duraludon, and even if the Ally Switch, Gothitelle wouldn't have been able to do anything. Politoed is going to be sent out here. That summons the sun, summons the rain, rather. I think what I want to do is I want to click the Dazzling Gleam button and see how much damage I'm going to put off on both opponents. And then hit this Parasong button here. So let's see what this does. Hopefully that between the Parasong and the Dazzling Gleam, I should be able to knock... hopefully I'll be able to knock out Gothitelle. And the main thing here is that the opponent has to knock out 3 Pokemon in 3 turns with Parasong. So Duraludon usually doesn't have Split. I don't think it has Spread moves. And Gothitelle doesn't either. So that gives me a little bit of advantage here. And with the light screen up, that's just going to be so much easier to deal with Duraludon's attacks, for sure. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens here. We are going to get the Dazzling Gleam off first, so I get outspeed, do a lot of damage on Duraludon actually, and I set up the Parasong. So kind of looking at this endgame win con here. Really nice here. Gothitelle is going to aim for Psychic on the Klefki slot. It doesn't do too much. Very weak attack there. And we are going to get the Thunderbolt into the Klefki slot as well. So giving myself some really nice breathing room here. I take those hits like a champ, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit Protect, and I'm going to hit Dazzling Gleam one more time. Yeah, the Klefki with that calm nature really coming clutch, making it a lot easier to take care of these attacks. So I'm very lucky to have that, for sure. Man, and this is fun. I haven't used this strategy since 2014, so it's nice to be able to successfully use Parasong again. I get this Protect off. We're going to hit off with this Dazzling Gleam. Enough to knock out Gothitelle, but it's pretty much game, set, match here. We are going to see the Thunderbolt, but it's a little bit too late. Parasong countdown is down to 2. Light Screen's over. But honestly, at this point, I'm going to knock out Duraludon anyways. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit the Scald button. And I'm going to go ahead and hit this Dazzling Gleam one more time. We put our opponent in a checkmate situation, which was awesome. So I'm glad I got that set up. And in fact, Klefki gets to knock out with that Dazzling Gleam. So Metal Sound not only helping out Hydreigon, but also helping out Klefki in the long run. I think the main thing here is that the opponent just couldn't really deal with Klefki. Those defenses on Klefki was great, and it just made it a lot harder for them. So yeah, we have the Gothitelle with the Psychic Seed, competitive actually, and not Shadow Tag, so that was interesting. Energy Ball is also interesting. That hit my, whatchamacallit. Yeah, I think that if it went after the Politoed, I would have had a better shot here. I am glad that we were able to get at the very end. Yeah, the close combat and that protected begin was very clutch. Was it? Yeah, Assault Vest, I figured as much. We had Choice Band Barraskewda, so that was nice that we were able to paralyze it at the first turn, knock it out. Jolteon was Life Orbed, so able to deal with that. Mienshao did not come out, which I'm lucky it didn't. But if it did, actually, all 3 of its attacks are really nice. And the Wide Lens is a great way to make sure those hit. Regenerator too, right? Oh, Reckless. Oh, dang. Okay. So the high jump kicks would have been really powerful there. So it makes sense. I'm glad we didn't have to face it. And then we had Rotom. Rotom actually would have been a little bit scary if I had to deal with it, but not too bad here. Cool. So good battle overall. Really able to take care of the slow momentum the opponent had. And that, hey, sometimes that's just the benefit of not Dynamaxing early. We got our first win. Yay! Alright, let's get some props. Let's get some hype in the chat. I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to our next battle. Hopefully we can get some good battles as well here. We're going to be fighting against D. I have no idea who D is. So D actually plays an interesting Trick Room dynamic here with Dusclops. We have Rhyperior. We have Amoonguss, Toxtricity, a Hatterene, and also a Alolan Ninetales to help kind of boost up the defense of his team. Kind of looking at this, I do like Corviknight for the sake of hitting Brave Bird, hitting Body Press, hitting the Iron Defense button to really deal with Rhyperior. I also kind of like how it pseudo-threatens with fake Steel moves. I like Goodra a lot because the opponent, besides Hatterene, and Ninetales, doesn't really have a super effective hit. Breaking Strike helps lower attack, and I can also kind of deal with, like, here's an Iron Tail from a max Steel Spike, and that's going to do a lot of damage. I do like Klefki for the sake of Metal Sounding, Thunder Waving, kind of disruption. I like the idea of Klefki using Metal Sound. Oh, you know what? I kind of like this idea of Klefki using Metal Sound and Hydreigon going in with like a really strong max strikeness. I kind of like Goodra, and I kind of like Politoed hits, but other than that, I don't think Yeah, because I can even go for a Power Whip on the Rhyperior slot, despite the fact that it's higher defense. I think that we can use Klefki and kind of Goodra to kind of deal with that in the long run. So let's see what we are up against now, and hopefully we can make this work. If it is a Moongus Dusclops, then I do want to go for... so we're going to see Hatterene Rhyperior versus Klefki and Hydreigon. So most likely Hatterene is going to set up this Trick Room. So I am going to take a moment here to use Metal Sound on the... Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it more passive turn. I'm going to go ahead and use Light Screen, and I'll switch out Hydreigon for Goodra. That way Goodra can actually max the Trick Room here. Most likely this Rhyperior is going to protect, and then I can go hit this Hatterene with a Max Steel Spike, hoping to boost up my defenses and kind of play from there. Hydreigon probably doesn't need to Trick Dynamax here, and I can be a little bit more flexible with that option. So, main thing here is just to make it easier to deal with my opponent in the long run. So I'm comfortable with this type of move. So we are going to have Hydreigon switch out. I don't want to deal with Hatterene here. Goodra should be decently special defensive to take this. We're going to get the Light Screen, so Rhyperior actually did actually attack. We're going to see a Brick Break actually breaking the Light Screen, so interesting choice. Ooh, that was a lot of damage there, and we are going to see the Trick Room go out. So, Rhyperior revealing that Brick Break was not pleasant, for sure. I am going to try to hit this Metal Sound off the Rhyperior, and I think what I want to do I want to max, or do I want... I feel like the challenge here, though, is that Hatterene will probably outspeed. I don't think I'm going to survive anyway, so I am going to try to go for this Iron Tail anyways, without the Dynamax. So I do get off the Metal Sound, which is nice. That does help out in the long run, dealing with Rhyperior. We're going to see another Brick Break, which is totally fine. And we are going to see a Dazzling Gleam. That will be enough, unfortunately, to knock out Goodra. Man, Goodra took us a lot of damage there, and that, unfortunately, is a KO. Klefki really can't do too much here, but what Klefki can help out with... Yeah, this is a little bit harder. I think I'm going to go with Corviknight, actually. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and use Dazzling Gleam here on both, and then I'm going to go ahead and be a little bit more passive, and I'm going to use Iron Defense. Hopefully here, this will help deal some damage to Rhyperior. Hatterene might be afraid of, oh, I have to worry about an Iron Head, but really, it's more just to boost up my defenses, and then help Klefki deal with Hatterene in the long run. Luckily, with the Metal Sound too, that will make this Dazzling Gleam hurt a little bit more on Rhyperior, which could be helpful and not activate a weakness policy right from the get-go. We also might see a switch out, which would be helpful from the opponent's side. But yeah, I feel like Iron Defense here is going to be helpful for Corviknight, and a little bit more of the defensive play. So I am glad I actually did bring Corviknight. So we are going to see a Brick Break. I take that decently well. And we see a Mystical Fire into the Klefki slot. Ooh, a lot of damage there, unfortunately. Ooh, and my special attack falls. But I'm hopeful that we can make this work in the long run. We do get off the Iron Defense, which is nice. I get my defenses raised sharply, and I'm going to go with this Dazzling Gleam one more time. Does a decent amount to Rhyperior, but not too much thanks to that special attack drop. And I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit Metal Sound on the Rhyperior slot. Yeah, it's hard to figure out what would be the most beneficial. So I think Metal Sound on the Rhyperior, and I think I'm going to Brave Bird. Let me see, how many more turns of Trick Room do I got? Oh, this is the last one. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to Brave Bird into the Hatterene slot. Rhyperior is actually going to withdraw, which is perfect. And we are going to get into the Toxtricity. So this will make things a little bit easier in the long run. Meddling Sound, the Toxtricity, means that Toxtricity's special defense is going to drop greatly. And we are going to get the Mystical Fire into the Klefki slot. So I won't be able to set up a Light Screen here. Get that crit. But Klefki will be knocked out here. I do get off a Brave Bird into the Hatterene slot, so we'll be doing some damage here. Decent amount. Corviknight, unfortunately, has been taking some recoil. We got one more turn of Trick Room up. So I think what I want to do is use Earth Power. No, yeah, Max Quake on the Toxtricity slot. I don't have Roost, unfortunately, but I can set up... I feel like I can set up Tailwind. Well, my opponent doesn't really have a fast mode. Well, besides Toxtricity. Yeah, I'll set up Tailwind. So the opponent is going to Dynamax here, which is totally fine. And so my main thing here is that I want to avoid the... I don't mind a poison, but I don't want to deal with a max... Yeah, I don't want a poison, I don't want to be paralyzed. So we are kind of a little bit put with our backs against the wall here, but if we can make it out, I think we can win this one. So Hydreigon is going to Dynamax here, and if we get that Max Quake, that will make surviving special attacks a little bit easier in the long run. We're going to see the Dazzling Gleam, perfect. That was a lot of damage. Not effective on Corviknight, but I do activate my weakness policy here, which is nice. I get up a Tailwind. Hydreigon was going to move slower anyways. We're going to use this Sunstrike. It's probably going to go into the Corviknight slot. That's a lot of damage. That's enough for a knockout, unfortunately. But do I get paralyzed? I get paralyzed, which is the last thing I want to see here. I will get off this Max Quake knockout if it's not Focus Sash. Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to boost, which would have been super helpful. Able to get this knockout here, which is nice. But this really does open up Hatterene to be the threat. And if Rhyperior is... Alright, so Trick Room is over, which is nice, but the main problem here is that Rhyperior still has Brick Break, which is super effective. Could also have Mega Horn, so I do have to survive one more turn here. We actually see a Alolan Ninetales, and Alolan Ninetales does set up the Snow Warning. Yeah, with two fairies, it's going to be pretty tough. I don't know if I'm going to be able to win this. So I am going to get this Max Darkness off, but yeah, it pretty much looks like a checkmate situation. We are going to actually get a faster Blizzard, unfortunately, and that is enough to knock out Hydreigon. So, unfortunate there. I think the main thing here was the opponent wasn't passive in their first turn, and they looked at that and said, hey, I can actually take advantage here. If I actually did invest fully in attacking that Rhyperior, I probably would have gotten that knockout with Earth, like Max Quake, or even just Earth Power, and that might have been enough to continue. Even with Trick Room, then I could have switched out, maybe I had a better chance of winning that. But no biggie. You win some, you lose some, and that's the first loss we had to take. But this is a relatively newer team. This is the first time I've ever played it, so super excited to see what it can do, but there are some things that require it to get it off the ground running, which can be tricky. Yeah, actually thinking about Hatterene, Rhyperior does do a great job of discouraging Colossal. I think the way I would play that one is not, if I had the Colossal Sneasel turn move, I would not use Surf the first turn. I would try to knock out Rhyperior, and then afterwards use this Surf once, and then stay in Trick Room, and then after Trick Room's over, then use Surf. Setting up Max Flares, setting up the Volcalith, and then being done with that. I think that would be a solid play. Alright, let's see who else we're going to fight off against. Hopefully we'll have a good battle. We got an opposing trainer found, which is awesome. And we are facing off against, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, unfortunately. But an interesting team. We have Hatterene again. We have Klefki, Diggersby. We have Milotic, Charizard, and Gengar. Tough thing here with Milotic is that Milotic does discourage the use of, the max moves that lower attack or lower stats because of competitive. But I think what I want to do here is actually, I kind of like this idea of using the speed. I could see Klefki using Sunny Day though. That's a pretty easy kind of read here. And so I think what I want to do is lead off with Politoed Goodra to see if that's going to happen. Goodra can also hit with a Max Rockfall, which will be kind of a surprise here. And I think having, well, actually, I think having Goodra Klefki using Thunder Waves will be helpful and things like that. And then probably at the end game, Dreadnought and Politoed. I do like Hydreigon against Gengar, but I don't like it as much as because of the Melodic and the Hatterene. So I feel more confident with Goodra. And Goodra can also hit this Hatterene with Max Steel Spike if I'm really worried about it. But luckily with Diggersby 2, I could probably use something like, I don't know. It might be a little bit harder. I actually don't have as much defensive input here. But I can figure out something to deal with the Diggersby. I also like how, yeah, and against Diggersby too, like I can use Breaking Swipe. I like the idea of Max Overgrowth. Charizard doesn't like Max Rockfall at all, and probably isn't expecting it from Goodra, which is really nice, and I can use that to my advantage for sure. Alrighty, so the opponent is going to go ahead and lead off with, we're going to see Gengar and Goodra, and Diggersby. Gengar most likely is going to try to do something like Icy Wind to slow things down. But I am actually kind of comfortable here. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to slam Diggersby with this Max Overgrowth. And I think I'm just going to slow down Gengar overall. I'm just going to use Thunder Wave here. I might be a little bit anxious with using my max move right now. But I think we can make this work. I know that there is the Dreadnought that I could also use, but I feel like at the end game of Parasan, that might be helpful, and I can probably put enough offensive pressure on my opponent where that happens. So Goodra is going to go ahead and max. We are going to get the Thunder Wave off, so it does look like Diggersby is just going to attack here, which is actually really nice. Gengar is going to be paralyzed, making it a lot easier to deal with. We are going to see the high horsepower into the Klefki slot, so a lot of damage. Woo, that was a incredible knockout there. Diggersby reveals the Life Orb, and I get off this Max Overgrowth, which will be helpful in the long run. Here comes Max Overgrowth. Should be enough for the knockout. It is. That's awesome. We are able to knock out that Diggersby, no problem right there. Are we going to see the Icy Wind come out? We are going to see the Shadow Ball, actually, and I take that decently well, thank you to the Assault Vest and the Dynamax. So pretty much looking at that turn, we had a trade, but I was more comfortable with my trade for sure. The opponent is going to send out their own Klefki, so I'd imagine it's going to try to set up something like the Sun to deal with that later. Alright, trying to set up Sunny Day to help with Charizard. And I think if I ruin this Klefki's day by going with Max Steel Spike, and this, I could do Scald or I can do Helping Hand. I think I'm going to do Helping Hand to power up this Max Steel Spike. And I think that'll be helpful in the long run. We might see Light Screen come up, in which case that will make it easier to deal with Klefki in the long run, because like I really don't use any special attacks here. So we are going to get the Helping Hand out first. We get Switcheroo, so let's see what item I get. I get a Lagging Tail, they get the Assault Vest, but I am going for physical attacks here, so not a big deal. We get off this Max Steel Spike, does a decent amount of damage. I get my defense up here, and we're going to deal with a Sludge Bomb into the Politoed slot. So, not too bad of a turn here. I'm able to take these hits pretty well. Klefki unfortunately gets to heal up with the grassy terrain as well. I get Leftovers Recovery with that too. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Max Steel Spike again, but not Helping Hand, and just Scald that slot. Most likely, Klefki can't use any other attacks except Dazzling Gleam. So that's nice. I do get to shut down most of its options here. And I think Gengar isn't really exerting any offensive pressure that I'm too worried about. The opponent does go with this Dazzling Gleam. It doesn't do much at all. I get off a Scald. That should be able to knock out, or it doesn't knock out, but I will get a little bit further here. Gengar is going to hit with this Sludge Bomb. And I get one Max Steel Spike. Alrighty, that's enough to knock out Klefki. And Politoed, as long as I think Charizard will have to Dynamax here. I'm pretty sure that Politoed won't have to worry about, Politoed will most likely get knocked out the next turn anyways. So I feel confident using Parasan just to end things. That puts a timer on Goodra, but that also makes it easier for Dreadnought in the rain to outspeed everything. We're going to get Charizard at the end, which is perfect. Charizard will most likely target this Politoed slot, and if so, then Politoed is going to get knocked out. And if that's the case, then Goodra can just hit with this Rock Slide, knock out Charizard, and I'm going to go ahead and hit Parasan. This also is lucky for me, because I get to set up, Dreadnought can knock things out, and I can use Liquidation if I'm worried about accuracy, which I'll probably do, honestly. The power from the rain will be enough to knock out Charizard, which will be really nice. But yeah. I think it was just more of the bag of tricks that I had. The opponent was not able to capitalize on it. But we'll see what happens here. The battle's not over yet. Yeah, anything could happen for sure. The paralysis on Gengar was super helpful, though. Slowing it down was really nice. We are going to see the Dynamax here from this Charizard. Don't know what it's going to go for. Wildfire will do damage. It could go for Max Dragon if it wanted to weaken me, but yeah, something tells me it's either going to go for Wildfire to just have that chip damage, or it's going to go for Max Overgrowth to really knock out Politoed. So we'll have to see. We actually get the Max Quake. Max Quake is going to go into the Politoed slot. Good call there. Ooh, Politoed survives, which is really helpful. Yeah. Oh man. Unfortunate for Charizard. But that actually is going to be super helpful. I set up this Parasan, and everyone's going to faint in 3 turns. Gengar does get the Sludge Bomb into knocking out Politoed, which, thank you, and now I don't have to worry about Parasan there. And I probably get off this Rock Slide. That should be enough to knock out, not enough to knock out Charizard, actually, but it does a decent amount of damage. And thanks to the rain, luckily, so Dreadnought will outspeed, well, it's 4 times super effective. Parasan, countdown step 3, I get 1 more turn of Grassy Terrain, rain's up for 2 more turns. I definitely want to Rock Slide again. I could Rock Slide, but I feel like yeah, I think it's more the accuracy, right? So I definitely want to make sure that I'm knocking out this Charizard. So I'm going to go with Liquidation instead. So I get off the Liquidation. Yeah, that was a smart play. I'm glad I went that route. Charizard is knocked out, which is great. And now you got to knock out both Goodra and, yeah, you're probably going to be just targeting down the Dreadnought slot. Makes sense. And I get off this Rock Slide. Curse Body disables Rock Slide. But luckily here, not a big deal. And now because I have Lockjaw, which is super effective, I'm probably just going to go for that. Grassy Terrain is gone from the field. But I think now what I want to do with Goodra, probably use Breaking Swipe just to get some damage off. Yeah. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit this Lockjaw button. And the battle is over. Cancelled. Oof. Unfortunate for the opponent there. Got him in that checkmate situation. But I am glad I went for that Liquidation and not played with the whole, ooh, I don't want to deal with the random protects that could happen. But awesome. We got some protein. Getting some vitamins to make it easier to train other teams. And we're doing well. Alrighty. So we got 2 wins and 1 loss. As we climb up into the Great Ball rank, Hopefully we can get a good victory that will get us even higher in our ratings, because yeah, that's a little small percentage there. Interesting, we have a Colossal team. We have Riolu, so coaching. We do have Lapras, Hatterene, Comfey, and Ferrothorn. So it does look like the Lapras is going to be the one to activate the weakness policy. So in that case, what I could do is I could leave with Politoed Dreadnought. Because what happens here is that Dreadnought will knock out Lapras. And then what I could do, yeah, I could leave Politoed Dreadnought, switch out Politoed that turn to something like Goodra. And then have Dreadnought use Max Rockfall. Max Rockfall should be enough to knock out Lapras. Then switch back into Politoed, reactivate the Rain. Then outspeed, knock out the Colossal. I don't really have much to deal with the Ferrothorn. I think the opponent's going to see this. So I will have to be a little bit careful here. But I think with a combination of a couple of attacks, I can make it work. I kind of also like Klefki. Klefki can slow things down, which will be super helpful. So I think I'm going to go that route. I'm going to go with Politoed Dreadnought. Let's see what happens. And then I'll have Goodra. And yeah, because Corviknight doesn't really do much against the Ferrothorn. Neither Klefki doesn't either. Hydreigon doesn't have any fire attacks. If it did, then that would be the answer there. But yeah, I feel confident that I can make this work. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. It could also be that Lapras hits the Colossal, and Colossal is actually the one that has the weakness policy, and I might be mistaken here, but we'll have to see. So we are going to see Lapras and Riolu, so it does appear that this Lapras is going to be more physically based. So luckily here, I don't have to worry about I think what I want to do here is go ahead and switch out Politoed for the Goodra now, and then I will go ahead and use this Max Rockfall into the Lapras slot. So we are going to see the Gigantamax Dreadnought. Riolu doesn't really exert much offensive pressure here. Oh, we actually could see something. Vacuum Wave. That will be enough to activate the weakness policy on Lapras. But we'll have to see if the opponent's going to commit to something like that. But yeah, this Rockfall will hurt for sure. Politoed is going to switch out, so we do see the opponent committing to keeping the Lapras in. We are going to have Goodra switch out, and I get to Dynamax first, but I don't know if that means that the opponent is Dynamaxing as well. We could also see the... yeah, basically what I want to try to do here is get a one-hit KO before... Lapras gets to hit me. But even if not, then I can always just max. Yeah, because I want to deal with Resonance in the long run. So we are going to have Lapras Dynamax as well. Let's see what happens. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a Vacuum Wave into the Lapras slot, but I hope between the two hits... We're going to actually see coaching, so Lapras is physically based, which is nice to see. And we are going to get the Max Rockfall. That defense boost isn't going to be as nice. That's probably why. So Lapras can activate its own weakness policy. Oh, I could activate Lapras' weakness policy with the coaching. That was smart. I did like that tactic a lot. We're going to see the Resonance come out into the Dreadnought slot. Dreadnought doesn't take too much damage there. But yeah, unfortunately that Aurora Veil is going to be a little bit problematic to deal with in the long run. I think in this case I am going to go ahead and re-switch Goodra back into Politoed. I'm going to go with that Max Stone Surge here, knocking out this Riolu and just getting it out of the way. This will also help set up Stealth Rock in the long run, which Stealth Rock isn't really a move that you use often, but it will help my discourage switch-ins, and as well as help deal with things in the long run of that chip damage. So I am hopeful that this will be helpful in the long run. It's not over yet, we can still make this work, but Resonance is just something nasty to deal with. We're going to see coaching one more time go into that Lapras slot. So Lapras is going to get his defenses boosted up even further. And we're going to get this Max Stone Surge. Enough for that knockout. That's awesome to see. And yeah, so opponent stones float around the team. Most likely Riolu was the one that was focused fast, but this will help deal with those who are weak against rock, just getting a lot of damage. So Politoed is going to take this. A lot of damage there, unfortunately, even though a critical hit. Of course it was. Of course it was a crit. We can't play Pokemon without a crit now, but Politoed does take that decently well. Let's see what else is out. So the opponent is going to send out Comfey. Comfey is going to be pretty strong into the Dreadnought slot. So what I am going to do is I am going to try to... feel like I want to do is Helping Hand. And then I feel like I'm going to try to hit with this. 130, 130. Max Darkness. Yeah, I'm going to go with Stone Surge. Well, it's 130, both of them, right? Do I really want the rain? I don't really need the rain. Yeah, I'm going to go with Max Rockfall, because I don't need the rain after this point. I can always bring it back in. So we're going to get the Helping Hand. Comfey is probably going to be faster, and it's going to hit with this Giga Drain. I survive it, thank goodness. But I'm hopeful that knocking out this Comfey will be helpful in the long run of things. And we are going to get this Max Rockfall. So Dreadnought putting in the work, able to do what I needed it to do. Dang it, not enough for that knockout, unfortunately. Oh, that's not fun. That's not fun at all. But hopefully the chip damage will be helpful. We are going to get the Max Lightning into the Dreadnought as well. So knocking out Dreadnought actually, that actually helps out a lot. I'm not going to lie. Because now I have... Okay, so here's the thing. I have... Dreadnought is knocked out. Sure. Okay, I'll take that. But now... okay, so this is where the trickiness happens. Oh, actually, I can figure out something to do. Okay, I got an idea. Alright, with Klefki out, Klefki can do a couple of things to help kind of mitigate the damage we're going to see. I'm going to go ahead and use Protect here. And the idea behind this is I'm going to Light Screen and Protect. This will make it easier for me to deal with the special attacks that Lapras and Comfey can throw out. Comfey will try to use something like, oh, I want to use Giga Drain on this Politoed, which makes sense. But then I can switch into Goodra, get the Sap Sipper boost, and that will actually help in the long run. So, perfect. I'm okay with this. I actually do like this more. Lapras is going to be a bigger threat in the long run deal. That's totally fine. I do set up this light screen to make it easier to deal with special attacks. And we are going to see the Freeze Dry into the Politoed slot. So that was good. Great call out there. Politoed, that means that Goodra will probably take on this Freeze Drive, which isn't great. But I can at least use this to my advantage and try to knock out the Comfey. So let's see. Aurora Veil ends next turn. So I am going to use that to my advantage. I'm going to bring up Goodra. And I'm going to go ahead and paralyze the Lapras. If I can slow down Lapras' onslaught, this will help out in the long run. Politoed is going to go ahead and retreat. We're going to see this Goodra come out. Perfect. The Giga Drain targeted the right thing. I got the Sap Sipper boost. I will be happy with that. And we are going to see the Thunder Wave here. And hopefully this will help deal with Lapras in the long run too. Alright, yo, I take those turns. We take those turns. Comfey will most likely go for Draining Kiss. So I think the main thing here is either Comfey Comfey will most likely try to go for Draining Kiss. If I can knock it out with this Iron Tail, that's going to be great. I think I'm going to then Metal Sound. Metal Sound in the Opera doesn't make a difference. I think I'm going to hit with Dazzling Gleam. just to get damage off. Oh, okay, it had a berry. Interesting. So we get with this Iron Tail, I actually outspeed it. That's awesome. The Babiri Berry does weaken that attack, but luckily at this point in the game, it was much weaker here. I get off this Dazzling Gleam, which is perfect. It does a decent amount of damage, and Lapras does go for this Freeze Dry into the Goodra slot. Ooh, that did a lot more damage than I wanted it to do. Goodra does get buffeted by the Sandstorm. Unfortunately, we gotta knock out this Lapras. It does put a little bit of a bind on us, knocking out this Lapras. We are gonna see the Ferrothorn come out. Ferrothorn isn't great to have, but I think what I can do here is I'm going to go ahead and use this Power Whip, try to knock out this Lapras, and I think I'm going to go ahead and use Thunder Wave on the Ferrothorn as well. Any free turns I can get are great. So we are going to get this Thunder Wave. That would be enough to paralyze Ferrothorn. Do we get the Power Whip? We get the Power Whip. It's going in! Not enough to knock out though. Do we get the, we get the Freeze Dry. Unfortunately, it's going to hit the Goodra. Oh, no, that's the knockout that I don't want to see, and Goodra is knocked out. No. And Ferrothorn is going to use Knockoff here. Oh, man, unfortunate. This is the worst I could have gotten. Sandstorm's over, but I really don't have much offensive pressure I can put in. Electricity is down from the field, so Thunderbolt won't hit as hard. But, oh my goodness, Paralysis is not great on Ferrothorn, actually, because now it probably can use Leech Seed, and that endgame is going to hurt. Politoed comes in with Drizzle, so if Lapras has Thunder, that's going to be 100% accurate, which you'll probably want to use on Klefki. I really can't do much except Helping Hand. We got to knock out this Lapras, so we're going to go ahead and use this Dazzling Gleam. So we're down to our 2 defensive Pokemon here. Politoed is going to Helping Hand, I mean, I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to see a Protect from Lapras. And we get the Dazzling Gleam off. Lapras is not going to take any damage. Really, it's all based on Paralysis. Do I get to paralyze Ferrothorn enough? No, Ferrothorn just is going to hit with this Power Whip. Unfortunate there. If we did have just Goodra at the end game, that would have been it. And unfortunately, my Power Whip was not strong enough. So, it's Klefki versus the world. And I think Klefki is going to get knocked out here, so we're just going to have to... We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll get lucky and I'll get all these Paralysis, but if I don't have any attacks, it's pretty much it. Klefki is going to get off this Dazzling Gleam. Not enough to knock out Lapras, unfortunately. Lapras is going to go for that pretty powerful Hydro Pump. I boosted up with the Rain. Yeah, and that is enough. That's all she wrote, and Klefki is knocked out, so there it is. That was a good match for sure. But unfortunate there, I just wasn't able to capitalize on knocking out the opponent. So, I have been liking this team. I think that the problem is the flexibility, especially with the defense. I am going to go ahead and... Actually, you know what? I don't think I have it built, do I? Oof. Down to where I was. Yeah, I don't have it built. I gotta remake it. Okay. Let me remake it real quick. And then we'll hop back in online. As we do, I'll go ahead and take a small bumper break, just because I might need to get something to drink. Thank you guys so much for tuning in so far. We'll be right back with more Pokemon action here on Gamer Smiles. Don't go away. What is up, everybody? We are back with more Pokemon action. I hope you guys are excited. We're actually bringing some old things and combining it with some new things, and I'm really excited to see how this will play out. But anyways, we have Sneasel, we have Colossal, Lapras, Gastrodon, Klefki, and Terrakion. Now, the one thing you might notice actually on the Sneasel is that it doesn't have beat up. And so the idea behind this is to not utilize the beat up strategy with Terrakion, but rather have it kind of fake out the opponent and thinking I might do something like this. This will also give Terrakion an advantage here. And Terrakion can go ahead and do something like, oh hey, I can hit with Iron Head or Rock Slide or a Sacred Sword. Or if the case of like, maybe if Lapras comes in for the Sneasel slot, expecting some attacks there, thus giving Terrakion a little bit more breathing room to be able to hit things in the long run. I could also give Lapras a Assault Vest and teach it like another move instead of Protect, but honestly I feel confident with going with these attacks, so I'm going to go with that for now. Nice thing here too is that Lapras also gets to, ooh, you know what, Sparking Aria is actually a great one because it can team up with Gastrodon. Gastrodon can utilize, and now looking at this, I am kind of worried I don't have enough grass counters. So I might actually switch out and go with Cobalion. Yeah, I'm going to go with Cobalion. Okay, so I know what I'm going to do now. Okay, cool. I'm going to change this up slightly. So it's going to be a similar idea. Well, actually, no, wait, hold it. Maybe not Cobalion. I like the idea of keeping Terrakion. You can change out Klefki. We won't get Metal Sound support, but I don't think we need Metal Sound support because we'll use our specially based Goodra. Because we have Fake Teo Sneasel. Cool. I think this is perfect. Goodra can easily come in on the grass Pokemon that Gastrodon does not want to deal with. So, alrighty. Let's give this a whirl and maybe it'll work. Oh wait, not online competition. It might be. It meant to rank. Alright, let's give this a shot. Don't know if this will work still, but I do think that this will give us a little bit more of an advantage here. It does bring in some things that I have enjoyed in this generation for sure. Nice thing too is that if I do expect like a Max Geyser or something, I can go ahead and immediately shut that down, which is super helpful in the long run. And Lapras' Freeze Dry is a good enough attack where even if Gastrodon's on the field, I'm okay with that. Sparkling Area does actually play really nicely against opposing Gastrodon. So we do actually see the grass threat with Ferrothorn. I do see, yeah, this team really does seem like it'll crumble to Sneasel Colossal. I don't really see any way that the opponent can stop that onslaught from happening. I think afterwards then, just slowing things down with Gastrodon and Goodra is going to be great. So, yeah. I mean, I feel bad, but, I mean, looking at the team dynamic, there isn't really anything that stops it. I mean, sure, we could have Clefairy use something like Follow Me, but then I'm just going to hit it with Max Volcalith, and I'll hit the other Pokemon. Talonflame provides Tailwind support, but that's not going to be enough to outspeed Colossal. Surf actually breaks any Focus Sash. Yeah. Ferrothorn is going to eat up a lot of its hits with the Max Flare. Rotom can't deal with it because of Max Overgrowth. And depending on the Urshifu, yeah, it's not going to be able to deal with it either. So, I think we'll be okay here. The opponent's really going to have to think about this one. Yeah, and Goodra helps shut down Ferrothorn at the end game. So if I am really worried about Ferrothorn, I haven't knocked it out yet, then that's fine too. And also, yeah, I mean, it's just Colossal's coverage is enough to deal with most of these Pokemon. So yeah, we'll have to see what the opponent tries to do here, but I think it's going to be a tough one. I think the only thing there is that Lapras could survive an assault from Colossal. So we're going to see Rotom and Urshifu come out. Urshifu being the Dark type one. Yeah, here I probably just want to use Surf to break any sashes. And then I'm going to go with Max Overgrowth here. So choo-choo, we're bringing the train back, and hopefully this will be a good hit to knock out this Rotom. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, if Rotom doesn't Dynamax, then yeah. No switch outs or anything like that. So, looking good here. The Max Overgrowth actually will give some recovery back to Urshifu, but I can also do something like Icy Wind the next turn. So Sneasel gets off the Surf. I'm not... Oh, actually, it does a lot of damage on Urshifu. That's great, thanks to its lower special defense. I get it. I mean, I really don't know what you're going to do here. Critical hit on a Rotom. I get the Max Overgrowth off. And yeah, I get to knock out Rotom for free here. Urshifu will most likely... Could go for close combat on the Colossal spot, for sure. That might be one way to deal with it. No, but it just close combats the Sneasel slot, which is perfect for me. I survived that handedly. And now it just depends on what the opponent's going to use next. So we're all going to be recovering some HP here. Okay, Urshifu does not have his Focus Sash restored yet. But I feel like Urshifu will also get knocked out by both Goodra and Gastrodon. So we are going to see Clefable. Ooh, it's a shiny one too. That's nice. I feel like I want to taunt the Clefable. You know what? I want to Fake Tears the Clefable slot. And then I'm going to go for a Max Vocalith on the Clefable slot. Technically, the Vocalith goes first, but the Fake Tears helps deal with the knockout that could happen from Goodra Gastrodon later. So Clefable does use Follow Me, which is anticipated. Totally fine here. I get off the VG Max Vocalith. This is going to do a lot of damage. It actually just knocks out Clefable outright, which is great. I will take that happily. And we get the Fake Tears out. Icy Wind would also have been nice, but Fake Tears is fine too. And we are going to get the close combat into the Colossal slot. The Colossal takes a lot of damage, but Colossal's already done its job here. A Sucker Punch won't be enough. I don't think enough to knock out here. So, yeah, Sneasel still hanging in there, doing what it needs to do. And Urshifu is going to be taking damage thanks to those rocks being thrown out by Vocalith. This is great. I'm in an amazing spot here. Yeah, I don't know what the opponent will do to respond. So they do send out Lapras. So that's easy enough. I probably just want to hit that Lapras slot with Vocalith again. I'll probably just Icy Wind this turn. And I got nothing better to do. And I don't want Sneasel to... I could probably Fake Tears one more time. And then I will Vocalith the Lapras slot. Because at this point, they have to Dynamax. The Lapras slot. I get stabbed on this Vocalith for sure, so that's why I kind of wanted to fire it off. But Lapras could max Guard, which would give it one more turn of just breathability. Urshifu goes for that Sucker Punch, yeah. I would have done something like that too. I get off the Vocalith. I might activate a Weakness Policy, but honestly, yeah, I activate a Weakness Policy. I get Fake Tears off the Lapras, which is going to be super helpful, and we might see a Resonance coming out. Yeah. And the Resonance is going out into the... That's even better! So Sneasel's knocked out. Totally fine here. Urshifu is going to be taking considerable damage. Lapras actually did not have weakness policy, which is really nice. And I feel like between the Vocalist attack should be enough to knock out Lapras in the long run. So we'll go ahead and send out Gastrodon to kind of shut things down. Lapras can only do G-Max Resonance on Gastrodon, most likely. And then I'll have Colossal just protect, make it easy for me, and then I'll just have Gastrodon finish it up. So I'll go ahead and use Earth Power on Urshifu, and then I'm going to go ahead and just protect, just giving myself a little bit of breathing room if need be. But yeah, I mean, this is great. We're wrapping things up, making it work. Urshifu actually goes for the close combat on Gastrodon. Great call out there. And we are going to see the G-Max Resonance. Is it going to go on Gastrodon as well? Ooh, Gastrodon's taking a lot of damage here. Oh, and it got knocked out. That's not great. Oh, man. That is the last thing I wanted to see. Yeah, this opponent's thinking the long run. If I did protect there, and then hit with Colossal, I think that would have been a lot better. But hopefully the rocks are going to be helpful at just dealing damage. Okay, rocks are still up. Feel like in this case we do want to target down the Urshifu slot just in case it does go for it. I can see it going for a Sucker Punch. I don't think Urshifu has Protect. We get off the Heat Wave, which is perfect. I'm able to knock out both. That's awesome. That is awesome. Look at that. There we go. Okay. Whew! I was prepared for the long game. But yeah, knocking out Lapras is great. The Vocalist damage, that was awesome. So even though Gastrodon was knocked out, unfortunately, we were able to beat Lalo. And yeah, that's just the power of Colossal teams. Like, that momentum is so hard to get through without, you know, consideration. And really in Team Preview, I'm able to mess around with the opponent early. So, choo-choo on the hype train once more, keeping it going. Colossal doing some serious damage here. So let's see what our next battle is. It is against Ryan. Let's see what Ryan has for us. Ryan has Clefairy, Azumarill, Urshifu, Ferrothorn, Crocodile, and Slowbro. This is very interesting because this could also activate Trick Room, especially with Ferrothorn and Azumarill being really big fans of Trick Room. I kind of like not using Colossal immediately and having Gastrodon and Gujo kind of lead out. Because if I can deal with Slowbro early, then I can definitely win this. I could probably double target there, and then using Sneasel and Colossal at the end of the game. It might be a little bit harder to get both of them in at the same time, but we might be able to figure that out. So, I could also go with G-Max Lapras, but I kind of feel like it's a little bit dangerous. So, I might, actually, you know what, I might lead with Sneasel Colossal, and then depending on what my opponent brings out, change that up. So, then having Gujo and then having Gastrodon. So, still feel confident with that lead, but I do feel like this opponent is planning for it. So let's see what they brought to plan for it, and let's see if we can adjust accordingly. This one might be a little bit tougher, just because I would imagine they might have planned something to deal with Colossal. It seems doubtful they wouldn't. So we are going to see Urshifu and Crocodile. So they actually didn't bring anything directly to counter me. And I get Sneasel and Colossal out. So really, looking at this, I kind of want to knock out this Crocodile now. So I am going to go ahead and Surf in this slot, and then I'm just going to go ahead and hit the Solar Beam button into the Crocodile slot. The only thing they could do is switch out to Ferrothorn, but they actually decide to stay in, and they're going to Dynamax here. One other thing I do have to be mindful of is they could Max Guard. This is a real possibility here. And so Max Guard could also activate some crazy shenanigans I wasn't ready for. So Krookodile is going to Dynamax. The challenge with Krookodile is that if it does get a knockout, it will get this Moxie boost. And so... Oh, actually, oh shoot, wait, I didn't hit the Dynamax button. Oh my gosh, I threw this away. Oh wait, I didn't actually throw it away. Maybe not. Should we get the Wicked Blow? Critical hit with the critical point, which anger point, which activates the max attack here. Oh man, I could have then knocked out. I would have won. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. I would have had enough to have knocked out this Krookodile for sure. It might have been Assault Vest, which is actually kind of cool. I like this idea. Classo, unfortunately, is knocked out here, but oh my goodness, that was so dumb on my end. Well, luckily now that just preserves my next Pokemon here. So I think I'm going to go with Gastrodon, and then I'm going to try to hit with this Max Geyser. But that was kind of cool. I like that idea of the anger point usage. I'll have to use that myself. But yeah, I can't believe that should have been... That would have been more than plenty, because Krookodile took a lot of damage, and then I would have hit hard with the Max Overgrowth. I can't believe I forgot to hit the Dynamax button. Urshifu is going to withdraw, which is totally fine here. We are going to have Clefairy. That's actually really nice to help boost up the defense of Krookodile. I like that a lot. But hopefully this Max Geyser with the Surf kind of helping boost up some of my... the Surf boosting up my damage output is going to be super helpful. I can actually see Urshifu and Tauros being really good partners in that too. So I get the Surf off. The Storm Drain will allow me to get my special attack boost, but also do some damage to Krookodile as well. Not that much. And we are going to get the Max Quake. That is going to boost up that special defense like crazy. I survived with 82 HP. Let's go. Gastrodon. Yeah, that special defense boost isn't going to be pretty, though. I can't believe it. I threw it away. That was just the one thing I needed. Oh my gosh, and that barely does anything. I think I'm going to go ahead and... Nah, I'll play it to the end. I'll play it to the end. That's how we do it. Okay. Sneasel, I'm going to go ahead and Fake Tears as Krookodile. And then I'm going to go ahead and Protect here. Yeah, I can't believe I literally threw it away. I forgot to board the train. It's like you got everything ready and you missed the ticket. Perfect. That Max Quake will lower itself, and Clefairy uses Minimize. I hate you. I hate you. Oh my gosh. How evil can you be? Oh, and Krookodile will probably have Power Trip. Yeah, that's enough to knock me out for sure. Yeah, the only thing I can do is Max Geyser. Probably you're gonna knock me out. Yeah. Shoot. I can't believe it. All I had to do is Dynamax, and that would have been enough. I hope you show me your team, because I am curious to see if you're... So we do get off this Icy Wind, which might be helpful in dealing Krookodile in the long run. And I will be able to hit off with this Max Geyser for sure, but the Power Trip is just going to hurt. Oh, you actually just have Rock Slide? Okay, I'll take that. So this Max Geyser will actually do a decent amount of damage, yeah. Okay. I think in this case, I'll probably just use Icy Wind one more time. and then put a recover. And maybe I'll be able... I might be able to pull this back out. This is going to be a little bit tougher. Clefairy uses Follow Me, which is totally fine here. I get off this Icy Wind again. And we are going to see the Rock Slide. It'll probably knock out both. Yeah, let's be real. Alrighty, so, man, hey, you know what? I gotta... That's happened before, and sometimes it's just... You gotta deal with it, man. Sometimes you're just too foolish, and you have decided to use the wrong move at the wrong time. So, just something I gotta deal with. It's part of the game. And yeah, man, I think we would have actually won that one if we used Dynamax Solar Overgrowth. That would have been enough to really put the hurt on Krookodile. So we're finally able to knock out this Clefairy, but at what cost? This Krookodile could probably use something like Power Trip, and that should be plenty. It just goes from a Darkest Lariat, which is interesting. Silly animation. But yeah. Unfortunate there, but really, that was just on you for being dumb and hitting the wrong button. Now, if you did have, like, Sun support, sure, okay, I could buy that, but the fact that you literally wasted your Colossal was just the end-all be-all. I would be curious to see if it was Assault Vest. Thank you. Yes. Okay, Quick Claw. You had own tempo. Okay, so you were Assault Vest, so it does beget the question, could you have survived? I actually don't think you would have. I think I would have won. Yeah. High horsepower outside Darkest Lariat. Power Chip actually would have been a lot better if that was your strategy. Because you had high horsepower outside, but if you did get lucky and hit that, you would have won. Yeah, I would have recommended that. Wicked Blow, U-turn. Oh, U-turn's nice. Yeah, you can get out of there. Ferrothorn, yeah. Well, did you have... Steamroll was interesting. I am curious, did you have Trick Room? No, you did not. You acted like you would have been a Trick Room too. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know why you went with defense. I think it was trying to survive with many hits. That might be it. That makes sense too, of like the Urshifu's attack wouldn't do as much, even with the crit. Unfortunate there, man. 6 battles, 3 wins, 3 losses, and one of those losses was the dumbest mistake I could have ever made. But that's okay. Live and learn. Alrighty. So we got a Porygon Z team. Porygon Z, Primarina, Ferrothorn, Urshifu, Toxtricity, and Talonflame. I honestly feel bad, but I feel very confident with the Colossal Sneasel lead. I think besides Primarina and Toxtricity and Ferrothorn, Goodra can handle, Gastrodon could handle it in the long run, but yeah, I always feel like that is the problem. So I feel like Lapras is going to be helpful with Goodra instead. Lapras can come in on the Water Door moves, maybe not redirect, but at least with Freeze Dry it can hit super effectively. And same with Goodra and Sludge Bomb. And that's the main thing, is mainly hitting them super effectively. So I do feel Lapras does add more value in that case. Gastrodon might be immune to Toxtricity, but I think that if I target it with Colossal, I think that's the main thing, of like figuring out who to target and then going from there. So, alrighty, so Testoris is going to be facing off against me. Let's see what they're going to go up against. I am curious to see if they will be able to counter my. So we're going to see the Urshifu and Toxtricity already. So if I knock out the Toxtricity, then it's pretty much a sealed deal for the long run. So I think I'm just going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and use Vocalith on the Toxtricity, and then I'm just going to use Surf. Urshifu will most likely target... It could use Sucker Punch on the... yeah, that might be it. I honestly think that would be the call. So the opponent is also going to Dynamax here. Here's who they choose. It looks like they're going to choose the Urshifu? They choose the Urshifu. Interesting. So that actually means that I won't have to deal with Sucker Punches coming my way. Most likely a Max Knuckle. So that does put a little bit of pressure of knocking out this Urshifu earlier. That's one way to respond. I respect that. It could target this Max Knuckle into the Sneasel slot, in which case that is helpful in the long run. I probably don't care as much. And then I can Vocalith. I can probably use Max Flare into that Urshifu, making it easier to deal with it in the long run. So we're going to get the Surf off. Surf doesn't do too much to anyone, but we get that Steam Engine, and knocking out this Toxtricity is going to be helpful. So we get the weakness policies, all those good stuff, and we're going to get the Vocalith. Toxtricity is knocked out here, which is nice. That is super helpful. But I don't know what... I think it's going to be a Max Knuckle. Yeah, we're going to see the Max Knuckle. It's going to go into the Colossal slot. Okay. Okay, so... I think in this case, I would want to target down this Urshifu. Luckily, thank you to the Vocalith, that will make it easier to deal with it. I can also use Icy Wind to slow it down. But it depends. What's the next Pokemon? If it's Lapras, then... Oh, Primarina, then that does target... I do need to knock out Primarina. Let's be real. Ferrothorn is sent out, so Ferrothorn actually does prove to be a threat here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Max Flare Ferrothorn, and then I'm going to Fake Tears the Urshifu. I think what I want to do is make it easy to deal with the Urshifu in one hit with Max Flare. So Ferrothorn is actually going to withdraw, which is totally fine here. And Primarina is going to be sent out. Okay. That's fine, because then I'll Max Flare the final turn on the Urshifu slot now. We're going to see one more Max Knuckle. Will it be enough to knock out? It is, unfortunately. Oof, not fun. And that is the Urshifu knocked out, unfortunately. But, now that we know that Ferrothorn is in the back, we can make this work to our advantage. Vocalith is still going to do some decent damage. And really here, it's more of like, if I Icy Wind and then Freeze Dry the Primarina, that can be helpful as well. I can also Freeze Dry the Urshifu trying to knock it out. So I think that's what I'm going to do here, is I might, yeah, I'm going to Freeze Dry the Urshifu and then hit it with his Fake Tears. So smart switching, I think that was really cool to see that. Perfect. I will take that more passive turn to make this work for me. I get off the Fake Tears. I gotta survive a +2 Max Knuckle. That's gonna be a tall order. And it didn't work. Okay. The sun is out, so dealing with Ferrothorn is going to be easy. And Ferrothorn does reveal the Life Orb, the leftovers, so that's helpful to note. Okay. Now Urshifu is no longer Dynamax. I should be able to knock it out in one attack. Urshifu will probably switch out if it wanted to preserve its special defense. But I am going to Icy Wind here. Yeah, I think the main thing here was just I let Urshifu kind of hang out for too long. And that kind of messed things up for sure. Sneasel does get the Icy Wind, not revealing any Sucker Punches. That was a lot of damage on Urshifu though, so hopefully I can get this knockout here. We are going to see the Wicked Blow actually come out, so that's going to hurt. I think that isn't going to be enough to knock out Goodra. Yeah, ooh, this was not a good, this was terrible. Really props to the opponent there for doing something that was unpredictable and going ahead and maxing their Urshifu. I thought that was really cool. It was really cool to see that. While I did get the knockout on the Toxtricity early, I should have targeted down the Urshifu. I did some considerable damage. Max Flare into that slot would have been helpful. Toxtricity did pull... I think I could have Max Flare. I could have focused down it and then Max Flare the second turn. I think that would have been it. So, we unfortunately lost this one. So, not a big deal, but probably just a Sucker Punch will be enough to knock it out. But I really did appreciate the opponent's thoughtfulness in this battle. A lot of great smart switches, and I should have called that out of like, look, Primarina probably is going to switch out. Even if it stays in, not a big deal there, right? And I could have knocked out the Urshifu. Yeah, with Max Flare, Fake Tears, because if, yeah. Yeah, so really smart on the Urshifu Dynamax. It's usually something you don't see quite often, so really mad respect for that. Yeah, people are getting better at this season for sure, so yeah, we'll continue battling, we'll make it work. Just having a little bit of trouble, Oh no, we dropped out the Great Ball. Oh, that's not fun. With 3 wins, 4 losses, we are just not doing as hot. And I think it's just I don't have the teams that I usually enjoy. But that's okay. Alrighty, so we have a new challenger, Hydreigon, Primarina, Arcanine, Braviary, Dusclops, and Ferrothorn. So a lot of big threats here. Gastrodon having a little bit of a harder time to play. So I kind of like Colossal and I kind of don't. I think what I like about it, I could bring in Terrakion instead, but Terrakion actually does not do well against these guys. I feel like the main thing here is that I gotta figure out if Primarina has Energy Ball or not. I think that it doesn't, because the thing is, you also have Ferrothorn, right? And so that might be the way that you get around not having Energy Ball. We could also see Trick Room come up. So if that's the case, then I probably would bring in Gastrodon. I think the main thing there would be if Trick Room would come up, I'd switch in Sneasel for Goodra, or I could taunt it, right? You don't really have a way to redirect that. So, and then I could max Flare the Ferrothorn slot, and then yeah, I can hold off on my Steam Engine going off. Is the main thing. Is what I'm thinking of. Alrighty, so again, main thing here, let's not feel like we need to commit to Steam Engine immediately, and I think we can use that to our advantage. So the opponent is going to bring in Braviary and Primarina. This does put us in a pretty tough bind because Primarina does immediately threaten offensive pressure, because it is going to try to use Hyper Voice, but I could use that to my advantage, saying that, hey, I do know you're going to do that, maybe if I slow things down. Okay, so I could do that. Bring in Gastrodon here, and then go ahead and still hit with the Overgrowth. I like that, because the thing here is that Primarina might expect Primarina could max, and Primarina could go with something with like Max Geyser to try to get this knockout. And because it does that, ooh, I like this a lot. I like this kind of, switching of the mentality here. That will actually help out in the long run. So I am going to Dynamax here. I did not see a Dynamax from the opponent. So Primarina will still hit with a pretty powerful Hyper Voice, but will be enough to knock out, I'm not sure. And then that will help kind of deal with any Tailwinds later. This is kind of a weird move, but I'm trying to think about this in the long run. So we actually see the close combat, so I am glad I did not Dynamax here yet. Oh wait, this might actually be pretty problematic. Primarina's gonna go first. He's gonna use Hyper Voice. And it doesn't stop the spread. Yeah, unfortunate there. If I used Protect, I could have gotten through that. I'm not a big fan of where I'm at right now. Luckily, I do get a special attack boost, but Primarina now can easily do something like, hey, let me either Moonblast or Energy Ball, and we're going to figure that out right here. Yeah! Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Oh, I threw this away. I should have just protected, and that would have been enough to say, hey, you know what? I'd have survived one turn. Icy Wind. Then gone on the offense. We do see the close combat into the Goodra slot. Braviary is going to be taking a lot of drops, which is helpful. We get the Sludge Bomb off, but that's not great. And we get the Max Starfall into the Goodra slot. Yeah, that was smart. Oh, yeah. We got a lot of double ups. This is great. Oh, man. I'm just not thinking thoroughly. Okay. I think what I want to do now is I do want to... This is going to be tough because the opponent can easily just pick, hey, I'm going to use Energy Ball, and that would be game, set, and match. So I am going to go ahead and get stalled on this Braviary. I think I'm going to try to set up this fake Tears into the Primarina slot. Totally fine here. I will survive thanks to the Focus Sash. Yeah, I did not anticipate the close combat and the Hyper Voice. I think if I was able to survive one, that would have been enough. So we are going to get this knockout into the... Oh, jeez. Okay. That does reveal that Primarina does not have Protect, which is helpful. But yeah, Gastrodon versus the World is going to be tough, let me tell you. That's a good thought. Would there be another Pokemon that would be apt to... Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's game, set, and match anyways, but let's see what happens. Trying to think about it. So we're going to have to deal with this Max Starfall, unfortunately. Yeah, I think I'm just just delaying the inevitable, because here comes Nightshade. That's enough to knock out Sneasel. Gastrodon does not outspeed any of them, and she can just hit off a pretty powerful Moonblast or Dazzling Gleam or what have you. So yeah, if I didn't go on the offense and protected that turn, I think that would have been a better shot at winning this. Or if I decided, hey, you know what, get the knockout on Primarina, and that might have been enough too. But I think I was over. Yeah, I'll juice Earth Power, why not? But yeah, pretty much it's game, set, and match here. Yeah, Primarina just needs to hit off one Moonblast. That's enough for that knockout. And that's all she wrote. So, alrighty. Not looking as great right now, but what we're going to do is I got to go take a quick restroom break. I got to get this on a winning streak before we break this stream and head on to lunch. So, I'll be right back, and hopefully we can get some good... Let's get some good mojo up in here, alright? Can we get some hype in the chat, and we'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back. I am ready to go. Quick restroom break, and we are ready to play some Pokemon here. And you know what? We might be 5 losses, 3 wins up, but we're going to try to get that win streak. That just means 3 more wins before we take that lunch break. I'm confident we can get there. And I think the main thing here is just focusing on, think about not just the short term, but the long term. And really going for that. And don't overthink it. Go with your intuition, your gut. Going to channel a little bit of Nuon Gamer here, you know? He's always been helpful, and so I think that channeling that and really figuring that out will help us out here. So, we got a battle against Plant, and if you don't have grass Pokemon, I'm going to be disappointed. You do. I'm okay with this. We have Noivern, Durant, Hitmontop, Chandelure, Serena, and Milotic. Now, looking at this on surface level, Colossal Sneasel works really well. I think the main thing here is that Hitmontop will probably try to do something like, I could use Quick Guard, but I don't want to use Priority here. I do like Gastrodon, and if I can knock out Serena early, I think Gastrodon can win it. So, I am going to go with Sneasel, Colossal. It looks like this team is very Priority protected, but I think that I don't have to worry about that as much. They were pretty quick on sending out their Pokemon, so I am curious to see what their thought process is, or if they're going to try to counter it in any way. So, we shall see. Alright, so the opponent's going to start off with Chandelure and Hitmontop, so most likely we are going to see a Trick Room setup coming out. Hitmontop having that shininess, and we're going to get Sneasel and Colossal here. So, I think what I want to do is actually let Trick Room come up. Well, I think they... Okay, so the challenge with letting Trick Room come up, though, is that, yeah, I actually don't want to do that. I'm okay with knocking out this Hitmontop now, this Chandelure now to prevent that. And, yeah, it doesn't look like the opponent is going to oppose that in any way. Hitmontop could go for Fake Out, but Fake Out doesn't deal with Inner Focus. Hence why I picked Sneasel over Weavile. And so, yeah, I think I'm going to get this for free. Even if Trick Room does go up, the Volcalith, if it's Focus Sash and Trick Room goes up, the Volcalith will be enough to knock out Chandelure. And I can try to do things like Protect and things like that. So we are going to see the Wide Guard, but I didn't care about hitting you multiple times. Surf protects you, but it doesn't protect me. So I still get attacked by that. So that was actually cool to know. I actually didn't know it worked that way. So glad we learned that. Chandelure can still get up Trick Room. And I think the Wide Guard does protect against any breakage of Focus Sash before Trick Room comes up. But if it was to prevent the Surf itself, that didn't work. So we do get the Volcalith out. Yeah, Focus Sash here, so we probably are going to see the Trick Room. So that's totally fine to set up Trick Room. I think that also kind of is like, hey, guess what? The next Pokemon that comes out. I could have, yeah, playing that again, I probably could have just said no Surf and hit with the Volcalith at the end. I would have been slower. Chandelure is knocked out here, which is nice. But I think what I want to do now is slow down the onslaught that could happen with the 2 remaining Pokemon. So, the 3 remaining Pokemon. Durant is going to be sent out, so Durant is actually going to outspeed everything. But what I can use that to my advantage, going ahead and Fake Tears the Hitmontop. And for Colossal, I'm going to just go ahead and hit this Max Guard button. Yep, Durant is going to go ahead and Dynamax here. Totally fine. And then I think what I want to do is actually withdraw my Dynamax. I can deal with Durant one-on-one outside of Trick Room. Or actually in Trick Room, I'll outspeed it. So if I play my cards right, we should be good here. We're going to see the Mach Punch. Totally fine. I'll be brought down to my Focus Sash here. Perfect. Okay. So here's how I'm going to play this. I'm going to go ahead and have Sneasel use Surf. And I'm going to actually switch out my Colossal for a Gastrodon. Let me see, before I do that, how many more turns of Trick Room? 3 turns of Trick Room. Awesome. Calling out Dynamax early is a very rare thing to do. But I think that if I outspeed the Durant in Trick Room, that's all I need to do. Hitmontop is going to use Mach Punch, which I expected, so that gives me a free switch into my Colossal. And we are going to see the Max Quake come out. So this puts Hitmontop at neutral special defense. Durant loses damage thanks to the Life Orb. And now this actually puts Durant in a tough spot, because Durant has to make a decision. Do I protect, or do I stay in? So Hitmontop is going to lose the damage to that Vocalith, and so will Durant. And I get a free heat. Well, actually, no, I don't, because Hitmontop can use Wide Guard. So there are a few things at play here that could help. That would prevent a free, just like, oh, I knocked everyone out. I do want to see who's faster, though. $82. Gastrodon is slower. Okay, so I will Heat Wave anyways, and I'm going to Scald the Hitmontop slot. Perfect. Hitmontop is knocked out with that crit. I don't know if I needed the crit, but that's helpful, and that means I should outspeed. I unfortunately missed. Oh, that hurts. You don't know how much that hurts. But most likely the Colossal is going to get knocked out, which is totally fine. I'm okay with that. I still have one more turn of Trick Room up. Durant might be at +3, but I also have the Vocalith helping out with that damage, and Goodra actually has Flamethrower, and it should underspeed Durant in Trick Room. So I'm not too worried here. I think that at the end game, we can win this. So Goodra is sent out. And Serena is sent out. Oof, this does kind of put a little bit of a bind. I do need to knock out Serena early. So I can Sludge Bomb the Serena slot. Alright, yeah, I'll Sludge Bomb the Serena slot so they don't feel overconfident. And I will Scald the Serena slot as well. So this could possibly burn Serena. Nope, I don't get a burn, but I do get this Sludge Bomb off. Not enough for the knockout. I get poisoned, which isn't great. And Serena is going to go with Triple Axle instead. Interesting. That is going to do a lot of damage, though. Ooh, I survived with 5 HP. And Durant goes for the X-Scissor into the Gastrodon slot. And that's enough to knock out Gastrodon, and I think that, unfortunately... unfortunate there. If we were able to knock out Serena, I think that would have been it. But Trick Room is over. Everyone under speed. Yeah, and Durant probably couldn't choose one or the other. That would have been enough. But unfortunate there. I think if I did go for Flamethrower with a chance of burning, that might have been helpful. But I get lucky. I mix, but Triple Axle is enough to knock me out. So. Yeah, unfortunate. I think the Wide Guard at the beginning was good to preserve the focus sash. And I think that in itself, it did lend itself to winning at the end. And so it was an interesting way of speed control. I think if I replayed that, yeah, I am curious. I wouldn't have surfed that first turn. I think that would have been the call. So we do have safety goggles on this Noivern. Life Orb boosted. Yeah, Thunderfang. All this makes sense. Hitmontop with Fake Out, yeah, Close Combat, Mach Punch, and Wide Guard. You had Chandelure with Heat Wave, Shadow Ball, Trick Room, Prison. Serena has Power Whip, High Jump Kick, Triple Axle, and Protect with Priority Protection with Queenly Majesty. We have Melodic with Weakness Policy, actually. Coil to boost the coil defense and accuracy. I guess that helps with Muddy Water, but also defense boosting is helpful too. So yeah, great team overall. You know, now I'll have to rewatch the stream so I can. I do have a Durant that I could use for this, but I am curious about the Serena. So, okay. Cool. Alrighty, yeah, we'll continue battling. Unfortunately, we're just the Colossal teams are known. I should have thought about that. That was really cool. It was cool to see that interaction. Me playing that, probably not Surf. Think I would have done something like Fake Tears on the Hitmontop, and then using Max Vocalith. That should have been enough to knock out the Chandelure. Trick-Room would have gone up, but then I would have been faster. And with the last two Pokemon, then Hitmontop can only use Mach Punch, activate my own weakness policy at that point, and then go crazy from there, you know. So, using the slow speed of Colossal rather than the fast speed. But now we know that Wide Guard kind of works that way, and that's helpful to know. Yeah, if I did actually break the SAS, then it would have been a different story. Alright, so we have Pablo being sent out, and Pablo has a very interesting team. A lot of my favorite Pokemon, including Volcarona, Lantern, and Azumarill. We also have Grapploct, Galarian Darmanitan, which is very rare. Have not seen that in a while. And we have Hydreigon. Galarian Darmanitan actually... his team actually seems pretty weak to Terrakion, except for Grapploct and Azumarill. I feel like Terrakion can help scare off the opponent, and then later bring in Colossal to end the game. Or, actually, you know what? I feel like Colossal doesn't help out as much. Yeah, I feel like Terrakion, Sneasel, then Lapras and Gastrodon at the end game. Yeah, because then I can get a late game Resonance. And if the opponent decides, hey, I'm going to try to target your Terrakion with water attacks, then I can use, I don't know, yeah, I can use Gastrodon. So we are going to see the Darmanitan and Hydreigon come out, and Terrakion and Sneasel are going to be also sent out too. So I feel like in this case, Darmanitan is going to be Choice Scarf. I am going to go with a Sacred Sword on the Darmanitan slot, and I'm going to go ahead and hit with this. I want to hit with Fake Tears on the Hydreigon slot. The idea behind this is to make it easier to deal with. So oh, interesting. So that isn't going to be as scary. So I might take a lot of damage here. Ooh, wow, I barely survived that. I get off the Fake Tears, making it easy to deal with Hydreigon in the long run. Oh, and actually under speed. Oh, okay. So you knock out the Sneasel. Totally fine. You reveal the Life Orb. And I get off the Sacred Sword. Okay, so I knock out your Darmanitan. Life Orb should knock me out, though. I literally had 1 HP. That was crazy. So a pretty explosive first turn. But the Fake Tears does help me deal with Hydreigon in the long run. I can use Lapras to use Freeze Dry. Or I can use G-Max Resonance and start boosting up my defenses like crazy. So Gastrodon is going to be sent out. This does lock me out of my water moves, but... okay, so Grapploct is sent out. Probably the Hydreigon is going to use something like Draco Meteor. And we are going to get this Lapras out here. So we do need to deal with this Grapploct pretty early. So I am going to try to use this G-Max Resonance on the... Yeah, I feel like G-Max Resonance on the Grapploct actually is going to be helpful. And then I'm going to use Scald on the Grapploct. Idea here is to double target this slot. Hydreigon's already at lowered special defense. And so Hydreigon might actually be worried, protect itself. And this can help in the long run. I'm trying to think what else the opponent could do. They could probably switch out the Grapploct, but they don't really have really solid switch outs. They decide not to Dynamax because we just saw it. I don't know Grappaloct's speed here, so I think it might be slower than Lapras, which will be helpful. And I think that with the combination of Resonance and Scald, I should be able to knock out Grapploct. They also don't know if I have the weakness policy here or not. So we are going to see the Draco Meteor, and that's going to go into the Gastrodon slot, which will do decent damage. Ooh, that's a lot. Hydreigon is able to lower its special attack. It does lose that damage to the Life Orb, but we are able to get this Resonance off. Does a decent amount of damage here. Grapple Lock is brought down to a little under half. I'm not able to get the knockout quite yet. Octolocked means what? But I don't have any other Pokemon left. Oh, every turn I lose the special defense and defense. Gotcha. That makes sense. Cool. I think in this case I do want to knock out the Grapple Lock now. Or I do want to knock out the Hydreigon now. I think I will protect here. And then next turn I'll knock out the Grapple Lock. Perfect. I am glad I decided to target down the Hydreigon. This is great. This is perfect. Awesome. Get a Preserve Gastrodon for one more turn. And we are going to use its G-Max Resonance, bringing down this Hydreigon. And now we are at a 2-2 lineup here. Hopeful we can make this work. Hydreigon is knocked out. And let's see who is up next. Yeah, okay. So that makes sense. By lowering my special defense and defense continuously, that is going to hurt. We're going to see Lanturn be the last Pokemon sent out. Lanturn actually doesn't really have a great hit against Gastrodon, so I'm going to G-Max Resonance and Grapple Lock Slot one more time, and I'm going to go ahead and recover. Lanturn can't use electric moves, it can't use water moves, so this actually helps out a lot. I think it can use Bug and it can use Dazzling Gleam, but the opponent has not Dynamaxed yet, so we might see something like a Max Starfall coming out from the Lanturn slot, which could be dangerous. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens here. Yeah, I'm trying to think what other moves Lanturn knows, but none really come to mind immediately. A very interesting Dynamax for sure. Lanturn is a very rare Pokemon. This is the first time I've ever seen it in Sword and Shield Online. I used one in X and Y early on, but it was harder for me to use it. We're going to see the Max Lightning come into the Lapras slot. Does a decent amount of damage. I get to half. But thank goodness for this, the Citrus Berry kicks in. I'm able to recover that HP. I take that like a champ. And I get off of one more G-Max Resonance into this Grapple Lock slot. So that should be enough to knock out Grapple Locked. And I get a recover. So, while the opponent does have their Dynamax, it does seem a lot harder for them to be able to convert through it. That was a very explosive first turn for sure, and I'm glad I kind of faked the whole, like, oh yeah, my strategy was going to use Beat Up. That was nice to not worry about that. I might be able to protect one more turn, just to, yeah, I think I might do that. Just make it easier in the long run. Because the Electric Train does boost up this attack. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see the Max Lightning hit this slot. Yeah, I figured as much. That just gives me one more turn to just do what I need to do. No weakness policy. No weakness policy. That's great to see. Awesome. I think I'll protect one more time. Just to, maybe I'll get it. And that just forces Lanturn to target that slot again. So, it doesn't work. I get a Max Lightning into the Lapras slot. Lapras, unfortunately, would underspeed the Lanturn anyways, so unable to really do much with that. But not a big deal. I think Gastrodon is enough to end this game. So, perfect. Another Earth Power, super effective. No special defense drop this time around, but not a big deal here. I'm at full HP. Aurora Veil does wear off, though, but that I'm not sure if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. It really depends on what this Lantern has. But now that Lantern is non-Dynamaxed, this Earth Power is going to hurt even more. Lantern is kind of put in a bind, though, because Electric and Water, I don't have... Thank you! I really appreciate the special attack boost. That just makes things a lot easier. And I'll hit you with that Earth Power. Alright, one more Earth Power should do it, and I don't think a Lantern has anything else. Oh, it does have Ice Beam. That actually could be problematic. It freezes me, that would be game over. But I do get the Earth Power off, and we are able to win this. So, yeah, that first turn, it should have used Ice Beam, actually. I would have spammed that. Cool, and that's game, set, and match. Man, that's your fault, man, not mine. I appreciate it. Alright, that counts as 2 wins. That should count as 2 wins. Nah, I'm kidding. Awesome. Yo, let's go. That is what we're talking about. And there you go, you know. I think it's super helpful to just figure out, like, look, you don't have to worry too much about, oh, shoot, I actually do need to go restroom. That's okay. That's okay. We should be able to handle this. We got the opposing trainer out, so, yeah, no, that was awesome. That was a great win. So, interesting team here at Appleton. We have Grimmsnarl, we have Talonflame, we have the Phalanx guys, we have Akrami, and we have Toxtricity. The tricky thing about this team is that it heavily discourages both Goodra and Gastrodon at the same time. I actually do like the idea of using Lapras and Colossal. I actually do like Terrakion, Sneasel, Lapras, and Colossal. One thing I can do here is I can kind of... Grimmsnarl would have to waste a turn using Reflect. In which case I could taunt Grimmsnarl at that time, and then try to hit one of the other Pokemon, like I hit Grimmsnarl, or I hit the other Pokemon with, like, Iron Head or something like that. So I am going to go with Sneasel Terrakion, and then Colossal Lapras at the end game, and seeing how that might work. Colossal might become fodder, but I think between the other attacks, like especially Lapras will be great against the Appleton using G-Max Resonance. So hopefully the opponent will see this and say, hey, alright, so we do have Colossal. Oh, perfect, okay. This is actually kind of nice, and I actually don't need to use Resonance. So I am going to go ahead and taunt this Grimmsnarl now. Now I'm just going to go ahead and hit with this Iron Head into the Grimmsnarl slot as well. Grimmsnarl does set up Reflect, which is expected. Not a big deal here. And we see the Appleton set up the Iron Defense. Cool, both the Colossal and Lapras don't mind dealing with Appleton being super slow like that. So I think in this case I'm going to go ahead and use an Icy Wind, and I will use one more Iron Head. Okay, so the Ripen activates the berry early, boosting the special defense. Oh, sharply boosting. Interesting. I am close to getting that knockout. We're going to see the Foul Play come into the Terrakion slot. Totally fine, because that actually gives me my justified boost, so thank you for that. But the Appleton probably is going to use Apple Acid into that slot too. Okay. So that should be enough to knock out Terrakion. Luckily with Sneasel, I'm still able to exert enough pressure. Reflect might have gone out, but I don't really care about Reflect. And now I can use something like, here's Icy Wind one more time, and here is Freeze Dry into the Appleton slot. So Grimmsnarl is going to withdraw, which is totally fine here. We are going to see the Alcremie come out. I still get off the Icy Wind, which is helpful here. Even further, but hopefully this freeze dry, thanks to stab and being 4 times weak, is gonna. Oh, it doesn't knock out quite yet. I freeze him though. Oh no, the apple pie is frozen. Oh, that just hurts for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and exert this Icy Wind one more time, and I am gonna freeze dry that slot because I don't want to deal with Appleton in the long run. Alright, so we are going to see a Dynamax here, probably from the Alcremie slot, and probably just going to go for that G-Max Restore. Yeah, so Alcremie is going to come out here, trying to exert a lot of pressure, but Alcremie actually doesn't really do too much against Colossal, so this actually will help out in the long run. Sneasel gets off this Icy Wind, continuing lowering Alcremie's speed. And then I will get off this freeze dry here, and then we'll just have to wait to see what Alcremie does next. Are we still going to see the G-Max finale? Probably in the Sneasel slot? Yeah. Totally fine here. I wonder how I want to play this. I think what I want to do here is, so Grimmsnarl is going to be sent out. Grimmsnarl probably is going to go ahead and do something like Light Screen. I'm going to Fake Tears the Alcremie slot, and then I'm going to, alright, yeah, I'm going to Fake Tears the Alcremie slot, and then I'm just going to go ahead and hit this Freeze Dry on the Grimmsnarl. The idea behind this is more of to set up my knockouts in the long run. And even if, like, Colossal doesn't have to outspeed things, it can still use G-Max Volcalith. That's totally fine here. That freeze definitely was unfortunate, but I also did not let it last longer than a turn. So we are going to see the Light Screen, as expected. I get off the Fake Tears into the Alcremie slot. And we are going to get this Freeze Dry into the Grimmsnarl slot. So that should be enough to knock out. Perfect. Don't have to do a Grimmsnarl in the long run. And we are going to see one more G-Max finale. Is it going to go into the Sneasel? Sneasel is knocked out here, so perfect. I could have switched into Colossal at that time, too, if I did feel confident. But honestly, I don't think at this... I think it depends on what the next Pokemon is. And that will help determine who do I Dynamax here. Okay. I think I'm going to Protect. And I think I'm going to go ahead and hit this Hydro Pump button into the Falling side. Because I feel like they could easily go with the no retreat one. Oh, so we see the close combat into the Lapras slot. Ooh, I survived that. Barely, though. So, yeah, it does seem like Colossal is going to be the best course of action for that Dynamax here. I get off this Hydro Pump, and luckily because it's lowered special defense, that will do a lot of damage. Phalanx does eat its berry, which raises its speed, the Select Berry. And we're going to see the max overgrowth into the Lapras slot. Cool. Okay. Cool. I think in this case, Alcremie is most likely going to decorate the Phalanx side. But it's slower. I guess the main question here is to ask your... yeah. I feel like what I want to do is I want to max flare that slot anyways. and then G-Max Volcalith afterwards. So Max Flare the falling side, because they'll most likely try to do something like close combat. Alcremie should be slower than the falling, so it won't outspeed with the Decorate. I'll be able to knock out with this Max Flare, and then I'll Volcalith the Alcremie afterwards. Luckily, I should have enough to be... I don't need the speed, I just need to have enough to survive one close combat. I should be able to survive one close combat. The reason I didn't go for Volcalith is that I wanted to guarantee this knockout with a Flare. We actually see the Iron Head, which is a lot better. I'm very happy to see the Iron Head, honestly. Perfect. Awesome. I guess they didn't want to activate my weakness policy, or try to, flinch me enough times. But I'm so happy to see that. And we are going to see the Giga Drain, which is not going to do... It does a decent amount, actually. But now that Alcremie has the fake tears and everything, Volcalith is going to hurt for sure. So this is going to be nice, and that chip damage here is great too. So now this was an interesting way to play the Colossal team for sure, and I'm glad that we had the opportunity to really, mess around with it in this way. This is very unique. Giga Drain hits one more time. Alcremie does get some HP back. That's a lot, actually. I'm going to get some HP back here, too. And Alcremie will be taking damage thanks to the rocks. But because I've already... And we also get damage HP back thanks to the grassy terrain. Reflect is over, but Reflect didn't really matter. That does show that Grimmsnarl did have the Light Clay. But we are going to get this Max Flare off one more time. Perfect, and that's enough for the knockout. That was awesome. That was awesome. What a match. I think that one worked really well, just because, again, kind of faked the beat up, decided not to go for it, went for the taunt, which was helpful, and really dealt... I think the freeze also helped for sure, but yeah, unfortunate, but I also didn't let him last on the freeze for long. I learned that the hard way. Alright, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for your patience. We got a couple more battles here, and hopefully we can get a winning record before we end the stream just for now. So, hey, that was a lot of points there. And so, hey, we only need 2 more wins here. I'm very confident we can get that. And again, I think it really just boils down to, like, being flexible. You know, I love the idea of the Terrakion Sneasel lead, not using the beat up instead, and using Sneasel's other traits, like Fake Tears, which was amazing. We saw so many... being able to get those knockouts in the long run here. And speaking of, it seems like this team from Blood Shadows might kind of lend itself to something like that. While I honestly don't feel as confident with Primarina, but I do feel confident with Sneasel and Terrakion. We could taunt the Dust Collapse, and thus making it easier for Jirachi in the long run. So I think I want to do something like that. Having Colossal and Lapras in the back near the end game to make it easier. So let's see what happens here, and we'll make it work. Alrighty, so the most edgelord name you could think of. We got it right here, Blood Shadows. My favorite edgelord of all time. Let us see what Blood Shadows has in store for us. So we're actually going to see Goodra and Gothitelle preventing me from switching out, which is interesting here, versus Terrakion and Sneasel. So, kind of looking into this, I kind of want to make it easier to do a Goodra in the long run. So I'm going to fake Tears here, and I'm going to Iron Head the Gothitelle slot just to make sure it can't do anything. Let's just see what happens here. It's quite possible that Goodra is going to Dynamax. Yep. And so we are going to see the Dynamax here coming out from the Goodra slot, I would imagine. It would seem weird to Dynamax the Gothitelle. Yeah, I figured as much. I've used Dynamax Goodra before. Definitely a bulky Pokemon, but the idea here is I want to deal with it after it's knocked out. No, after it's done with Dynamax in the long run. So we're going to see Fake Out come out into the Sneasel slot. Thank you for that, because Sneasel actually doesn't care about Fake Out, thanks to Owner Focus. I will be able to go ahead and lower your special defense, and I'm going to go ahead and hit you with this Iron Head. Goodra is going to go for the Max Flare, probably into the Sneasel slot. So that will be enough to knock out Sneasel, unfortunately. But we can use that to our advantage later down the line. I think I do like Lapras here. Gothitelle doesn't want to switch out. It doesn't seem like Gothitelle would want to switch out. And I could probably use Lapras to use Freeze Dry into, or G-Max President into the Goodra, making it harder to deal with me. And I think I'm going to go with Iron Head one more time. Alright, you know what? Yeah, I'll go for Iron Head. Why not? Goodra does have to make a choice here, whether to stay in or not, or protect, actually. And so, this will be helpful in the long run. I can also set up Max Geyser. I'm not sure how I want to do that exactly, if I do want to do that, but that is an option as well. But I think the Resonance will help us in the long run, just surviving a lot of hits, not really having to deal with the opponent, and yeah, I mean, Gothitelle doesn't really exert much pressure here. The Fake Out was nice, but it wasn't... It broke the sash. I think that was the main thing. Breaking the sash was helpful. I get off this Iron Head here, so it does a decent amount of damage. So, still putting in a lot of offensive pressure. We are going to see the Max Wormwind coming out. Wormwind is going to go into the Terrakion slot. Totally fine here. Terrakion is going to take that like a... be knocked out, but with a crit as well. But I don't mind losing my attack as Lapras. That's totally fine. And, yeah, so I'll be knocked out. I am kind of worried that he has an assault, a weakness policy, but we'll see. We do a lot of damage with that, actually, which is nice. Okay, Aurora Veil is set up. Do we see a weakness policy? Nope, but we got a flinch, which is great. Awesome. Alrighty, Colossal is sent out. And so this actually gives Colossal free reign to just do its own, I mean, no matter what I'm going to do, it's not going to do as much damage. So I am going to go ahead with the Resonance into, yeah, I'm going to do a Resonance into the Gothitelle slot. And I think I'm just going to hit with this Heat Wave in both. Main thing here is that, so we're going to see one more Max Wormwind. It's going to hit Colossal, but Colossal takes that like a champ. Colossal also uses Heat Wave here. I'm going to actually get off the Heat Wave first, which is interesting. I did not expect that. So that was actually really helpful, thanks to the Sun. And I get off the Resonance now. Resonance is actually going to do super effective damage here. Actually knocks out Goodra, Look at that. We are looking clean to take this. This is awesome. There you go. Just gotta flip the script a little bit, saying, hey, you know what? I don't necessarily need Steam Engine. I don't necessarily need the Justified boost. I just need to knock you out. And so now we're getting these knockouts like crazy. We do have Dusclops come in. And we have Ferrothorn as well. So most likely Ferrothorn is wanting to... so it does find the Citrus Berry, and it does find the weakness policy. So Ferrothorn most likely is going to try to protect here. I'm going to go ahead and double up in this Ferrothorn slot. Oh, why not? Ferrothorn does protect, and we probably are going to have to deal with Trick Room coming up. I do get off this Heat Wave. Ferrothorn does protect itself. We are going to do some damage on Dusclops. And we get off one G-Max Resonance. One more, just a little damage here, not too much here. And we are going to see this Trick Room come up, yeah? Okay. So, interesting thing is that Ferrothorn can probably... So I am curious to see what we can expect here, because Ferrothorn did protect, which makes sense. I do know the Lapis outspeeds, so I feel like I want to target this Ferrothorn start regardless. And then Heat Wave, on both. Dusclops versus both I don't think is as scary. We're going to see the Body Press actually into the Colossal slot, which makes sense. That was a good call there. But I could get a freeze. We're going to get the Nightshade. And I get this Freeze Dry off. Okay, Sunlight is over, powering up my Hydro Pumps a little bit further. Ferrothorn is going to go ahead and get that recover with Leftovers. I think I'm going to protect for now. Ferrothorn protects as well. Totally fine. Roy Veiled wears off. That's a smart call there. Ferrothorn actually goes for Iron Head, and that Revealing doesn't have a grass move. Interesting. Maybe it does, but it wants to go for the accuracy now. Get off the Freeze Dry. No freezes there. I think I want to start targeting the Death. It is going to be a game I'm going to lose for sure. I mean, I can try to, if I get a critical hit on this Hydro Pump, that might be enough. But we'll have to see. Ferrothorn is going to protect. I am glad I decided to go that route. Yeah, my recovery is pretty low here, so I do have to knock out this Dusclops like right now. Let's see what we can get. Not even close. We can try to do Freeze Dry, but I wonder... Is Trick Room over? Trick Room's over. Okay. Maybe I get a freeze here. Nope. Oh, I get it! Oh my goodness! That was actually what I was banking on. But the Power Whip is actually going to come out anyways, and I'll be knocked out here. So, fair enough. Oh man, bummed about that loss, but it was a good match for sure. Geez. It kind of brings me back to the drawing board of like, do I want to use Dusclops again? It's a great switch into a lot of things. I'm kind of tempted to do so. I got some Carbos, yay! Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious. Yeah, Assault Vest, I figured as much. Oh wow, it used the same, except for instead of Draco Meteor, it was, I used, Dragon Pulse. Yeah, so same move, movement, Pokemon and everything. That's crazy. Oh, Loop Lagoon. I'm trying. What's Loop Lagoon? I've never heard of Loop Lagoon. Iron Birds, yeah, makes sense. This is a good set for Ferrothorn. Yeah, figured as much. Ally switch, Pain Split. I could teach mine Pain Split. Arcanine with Intimidate? Yeah. Got the tell with Cobra Berry, Shadow Tag. Okay. Oh, it also has Fake Tears. That was kind of cool. And Primarina with... Wait, it's just a tough Pokemon to deal with. Okay. Yeah, man, dang. I got wrecked by Assault Vest Guja. Okay. I think I need to adjust the team a little bit. I'll keep ourselves online. I'll keep myself online. Just so we can talk about it. But I think I'm going to go ahead and go away from the Colossal Sneasel lead. I think I'm going to go ahead and take away that. And that means Terrakion is going to leave too. So that leaves me with Gastrodon, Lapras, and Guja. You know, honestly, I could try a full Rain offense. What if I did that? Just have Kingdra, had my Choice Scarf Politoed. Yeah, and just spam Muddy Waters till Kingdom Come. I could try that. Having Guja in the back. I have Dusclops help deal with things. Where's Dusclops at? Dusclops already. There you are. Yeah, Helping Hand is also helpful. Energy Ball can help deal with. And then you have Electric. Okay. I mean, I'm weak against Dark. Definitely weak against Dark, but you know what? Why not? Why not give Stu a good Visasat? Well, let's see. Held items. You give that to Kingdra. You could have Weakness Policy. Choice Scarf Tyranitar, I can give that to... Do I have another Choice Scarf user? Yeah, I have the Elder Primarina. Because I like my main Tyranitar to hold that. Excuse me. I'll give that to Politoed. I could give you... I could give you Weakness Policy. Yeah. I like that idea. Okay. So the team is going to be Kingdra, Politoed, Guja, Dusclops, Primarina, and Marowak. Wow, this is the most jointed, the most dank team, like the most disjointed team I could think of. But you know what? Let's make it work. Let's see what happens. I think the main thing, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to think about my opponent. I'm just going to hit as hard as I can with Muddy Waters. And if I don't see weather, that's fine. And I think between the two, it might work. So let's do this. Why not? This will be fun. It will be a show and an entertainment for sure. So let's see what Matt has for us. We got to win 3 battles now. And so we do see Lapras. Oof, this actually kind of proves why this is the problem. So we see Lapras, we see Comfey, we see Toxtricity, we see Hydreigon, and we see Urshifu and Amoonguss. But the nice thing here is that because of this, it might actually convince the opponent that, hey, you know what? I actually don't want to ram into you immediately. Or, like, they might think, oh, let me ram into you with Toxtricity, in which case I can shut Toxtricity down for, like, 1 turn, and then be able to hit hard. So, yeah, let's see what happens here. I packed in Marowak and Gudra, so hopefully with those two we can be able to get some knockouts here. Alright, so we are going to see Toxtricity and Hydreigon, so I did expect that. I'm going to have Kingdra and Politoed. So, I think here is, I don't really care about Kingdra surviving. I can deal with Politoed, and I can hide my Choice Scarf later. So you do have Air Balloon. Okay, so I'm going to Dragon Pulse the Hydreigon slot. Oh wait, why don't I just... Yeah, Dragon Pulse you and then just hit as hard as I can with Muddy Water. Why not? Okay, so I'm going to get this Dragon Pulse off. Okay, I get the knockout. And here comes a full-powered Muddy Water. This might be enough to knock out. Okay, not enough, but I got close. And we're going to see the Overdrive pop in. Probably enough to knock out Politoed, which is fine. I think I did my job. Yeah, with that crit. Okay, cool. That works. Yeah, I'll just go with Goodra now. Yeah, that was not bad. Knocked out Hydreigon. That was awesome. Alright, so we have the opposing Lapras versus Goodra. So, yeah, I just want to go for accuracy. I'm going to knock out this Toxtricity now. I think for Lapras... Yeah, I think what I want to do is I want to Max Lightning it. So Comfey is going to be sent out. Ah, that's unfortunate because Comfey will easily absorb the Dragon Pulse, yeah. I get off my max first, so does that mean that I get to... that the Lapras decided not to Dynamax? Or maybe I'm faster, I don't know. Yeah, they decided to. I wouldn't blame them. Yeah, I think I over... Yeah, if I didn't go for Dragon Pulse, I think it would have been different. Because at least would have done some damage, right? So... doesn't do anything. I get off this Max Lightning, but the problem with the Max Lightning is that Lapras will survive it. It might activate a weakness policy. Yeah. And then the Resonance is going to hurt on Goodra for sure. Okay. Yeah, if I doubled up on the Lapras slot earlier, that would have been great. But the problem is Lapras also has Floral Healing, and he's probably going to do that. And Comfey's going to have Floral Healing, he's probably going to do that. So I might as well try to knock out this Comfey slot. I'm going to use Max Ooze on the Comfey. Yeah, I wouldn't blame it. Probably won't do as much. Oh no, probably won't do as much. That's a lot. That's a lot. Let's be real. Got that crit. That's nice. Comfey does eat a berry. Unfortunate there. What type of berry? Citrus, please. Okay. I get off this Max Ooze, which can help out. Okay, so I'm able to knock out this Comfey. That's good to see. And so it depends. If Lapras tries to go after the Goodra, then we might get lucky here. So we are going to see the Max Lightning into the Kingdra slot. Totally fine. Toxtricity isn't really going to be doing too much here, but I think the main thing here is that I want to Marowak, the living legend. That took a lot to get to that Marowak, which was fun. I think what I want to do here is I want to protect my Marowak for now in case of any crazy Max Geysers. Max Flare. There we go. Perfect. This will make it easier to deal with. That's fine. This will make the next Max Geyser easier to deal with. but it won't be enough to knock out the... Alright, so we're able to knock out this Toxtricity. Do we see a Max Geyser? Yeah, we do. So we won't be able to survive the next Max water attack, but maybe we'll survive this one, which is nice. So that gives me one extra turn. Goodra at least has +1 in special attack, and it outspeeds Lapras, so I'm hopeful I can use that to my advantage here. Yeah, really, I gotta knock out with the Shadow Bone, and the combination of Dragon Pulse and Shadow Bone needs to knock out here. So let's get off this Dragon Pulse, hopefully we can get this knockout. Not enough. We are actually going to see Sparkling Aria. That actually is going to do a lot on Marowak. And that is a knockout on Marowak. Oh, I should have done Thunderbolt. I was an idiot. Oh, wait, I couldn't have because... No, I did this right. Yes, we got the win. No, we did that right. We did that right. Because if I did Thunderbolt, the Marowak would have taken it. We would have lost. So, great match overall. Woo! Goodra! Goodra! We figured it out. Oh, that took a lot. That took a lot for sure. Oh my goodness. But we figured it out. We made it work. That was awesome. Glad to see that. Yeah, we'll continue battling. I forget that Lapras gets Sparkling Area now, thanks to breeding. So I had to make one. Alrighty. We need 2 more wins, guys. Can we get those 2 wins? We can get those 2 wins. We can get those 2 wins. Biodeb. What you got, Biodeb? Biodeb has a very interesting Trick Room team that also uses the Voltage Cage attack. So with that, I think what I can do is I can also have Marowak to help out. And I kind of feel confident with my own Dusclops. Yeah, I do know for a fact Marowak. I think Dusclops helps discourage Trick Room, but Dusclops in itself, well, he could also help boost Marowak. What does Goodra do? Goodra would have a... Actually, Goodra would have a hard time. Primarina could have a hard time against Dragalge. And yeah, I think Dusclops. Okay. And we do sense the whole, like, hey, I'm going to use the electric cage move deal. I can always switch out Politoed. Or I can switch out one of them. Doesn't matter. So we're going to see Grimmsnarl and Dusclops. Most likely we're going to see a Fake Out and setting up Trick Room. Depends who we see. Yeah, so, oh, great. Now, oh, wait, no, Dusclops first, not Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl Curtis first. So I am going to Muddy Water here. Yeah, I'm going to Muddy Water twice. I can't think of... Because I could switch out, but... Yeah, I mean, I figured as much, honestly. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Grimmsnarl avoids the Muddy Water? That's lame. Alright, so we do get Trick Room up, which is expected. I think in this case I'm going to go ahead and switch into Dusclops. And I'm going to go ahead and hit with this Muddy Water. Because Grimmsnarl has Focus Sash, which is interesting. I did not anticipate that. Grimmsnarl goes for that Spirit Break into the Dusclops slot, which is totally fine. I do some decent damage here, which is nice. I'm gonna use Helping Hand. I'm gonna Muddy Water one more time. I think I'm gonna try to boost up my power as much as possible, and basically just like make it to where this Trick Room doesn't really mean much. We're gonna see the taunt, which is totally fine here. We're gonna get one more Pain Split. We're gonna hit both. Able to knock out that Grimmsnarl. Let's go. That's what I'm looking for. Dragalge is sent out, but how many more turns of Trick Room do we have? We have 2 turns of Trick Room. So if we knock out this Dusclops now, then we don't have to worry about it no more. So Dragalge is going to Dynamax, which makes sense. Dragalge is going to use those adaptability boosted attacks like those dragon moves and also the Max Ooze to really boost up its power. But if we can utilize that to our advantage, outside of Trick Room, Kingdra will outspeed. Dusclops goes for Pain Split on my own Dusclops, which actually hurts. We're going to see the Max Whirlwind. Is it going to target the other my own Dusclops? No, it goes after Politoed. Totally fine here. Okay. So it does reveal that it's life. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and use Nightshade on the Dusclops. I'm going to Dynamax now and use Max Guard. And then the more damage I can preserve, the better. And by knocking out the Dusclops now, we can help prevent any Trick Room shenanigans coming up. We're going to see another Pain Split. Will we get more than 50 HP? I think that is more than 50, unfortunately. We do get to protect ourselves against this Max Whirlwind. And we will get one more Nightshade off. Not enough to knock out. But Trick Room's over, so that means that I outspeed with my Nightshade here, which I'm going to do, and then I am going to go ahead and fire out this Max Whirlwind into the Dragalge slot. Not the end of the world. I don't know if I can survive. Basically, that's the question. Are we going to survive a Max Whirlwind from this Dragalge right now? Nah, we don't, unfortunately. But this is the last turn of that Dragalge's Dynamax, so while I personally didn't get as much mileage on mine, I did help stop their mileage, and especially to Trick Room over, we can use that to our advantage. Perfect timing for that. Let's go with Marowak. Perfect. Pinchurin does not prove a threat to Marowak, really. So all it is boiling it down and knocking out this Dragalge. And I think I will double up in the Dragalge slot. And I will Boomerang here too. I don't think Pinchurin knows Trick Room. No Sucker Punch, okay. That does hurt. I'll go ahead and use Ally Switch, and I'll use Boomerang, and that can help kind of deter the Sucker Punch coming out. Perfect. I'll probably do one Boomerang here, and I'll do one Nightshade, and I think the combination of the two should be enough. Actually, it doesn't Sucker Punch. Alrighty. Woo! That was a match for sure. Even though we had to give up our Dynamax usage, that was super helpful. Wow, Dusclops and Marowak going for the win. And yeah, really exerting some offensive pressure there. I'm glad I called out the Pinchurin at the end. Really kind of cutting down his moves. I honestly have no idea what Pinchurin can do besides the Volt Rise move. So that was super helpful to know. So actually now we're going to learn. Yeah, I figured as much. They were going to... Ooh, Burning Jealousy. This leaves all that have stats boosted this turn with a burn. Gotcha, so helps to punish weakness policies. Sands, Scorching Sands makes sense. So you are definitely the more Dynamax Pokemon, especially the Expert Belt. Dusclops is here. Dusclops, yeah, I dealt with it. It has Sound Sleep, that's interesting. Liquidation, Protect, Zing Zap. Oh, you did not have the Cage move, but you had Zing Zap, which is pretty powerful, and Sucker Punch, and then Protect, and Liquidation. So, think super slow. Yeah, that makes sense. Super slow, but really strong. Gotcha. Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl had Fake Out Assurance, Taunt, and Spirit Break. Okay. More physically. Yeah, I figured as much. Dragon Pulse, Dark Pulse, Protect, Sludge Bomb, Hydro Pump. Yeah, I was lucky to knock you out earlier. And then, oh, you didn't even have the Dynamax candy. You need to do that, by the way. And then the Slowking was weakness policy with own tempo to prevent Taunt, Scald, Mudshot for max Quaking, Expanding Force, and Protect. Interesting. But you don't have a way to set up. I guess you use Expanding Force and then you do that. Okay. So your team doesn't really do much Trick Room. That's interesting. That's an interesting team. I think that there would be more opportunities to add in more synergy there for sure. Oh, that was a lot. I'm excited for that. One more win, guys. One more win, and we can call this stream a win for sure. But you know what? It was good experimenting and learning, and I think that's a huge part of this too. It's like it's not really about how many wins and losses, but really experimenting and getting comfortable with the team. This series has been a lot harder. I will admit that I have used a lot of the most used Pokemon, but it's been a good experimentation, kind of learning things that you don't naturally get to see. So I've been very grateful for the opportunity for sure. Alright, so we are in the Great Ball. We are looking for another opponent. Hopefully we can get a good one. I do like the idea of just like ramming the opponent. Weather hasn't been as common, which is nice. So, alright, Sheebas is going to be facing off against us, and Sheebas has an interesting team with Mamoswine, Duraludon, Clefable, Rotom, and Urshifu and Talonflame. So I feel like in this case, Marowak does not really prove helpful. Dusclops does as far as like defensive pivots. I could use Primarina. I feel like Primarina could actually help. as the Dynamax Pokemon near the end of the game. Yeah. Because Duraludon, you know, a lot of those Pokemon might crash in and be like, let me use an electric move, and then Primarina can take that. I kind of like Dusclops just for the overall bulkiness. And then, yeah, I'll go for Primarina. Primarina can also hit, like, with Max Geyser. Primarina can hit Rotom with Max Overgrowth. The one thing I won't have is really the hit against Duraludon, but I think slowly but surely hurting it will be helpful. And the fact that I actually do have Earth Power and Politoed, so if I really do want to hit Duraludon, that could be helpful too. But yeah. Let's see what we can do, surprise the opponent. We had Fast Dino, the Choice Scarf Tyranitar. Now we have Fast Toad, the Choice Scarf Politoed. And it's always fun to kind of change things up like that. I'm trying to think of other Chlorophyll users, but most Chlorophyll users don't really have anything like Heat Wave. Violet Plume might be helpful. Yeah, I could get really fast Sleep Powders off. That could be one way to play it. Or I could have the Choice Scarf user be another Fire-type Pokemon. So, different ways to play around that. We can always revisit that. Anyways, we're gonna end this battle. Is this gonna be the last battle? Hopefully, I'm confident we can get this last battle. And yo, that's like a pretty dope jersey. So we're gonna have Urshifu and Rotom actually kind of start the game versus Kingdra and Politoed. Now I don't really have a natural switching into Rotom, but I can preserve Politoed for later down the line. I feel like I might want to do that. Do I want to preserve Politoed, or do I want to preserve another one? Yeah, I feel like Hurricane here. Let's go with switching. Yeah. Because I could technically win in Primarina right at that moment. But, yeah, I kind of want to see where this goes. Urshifu most likely is going to try to ram into Kingdra. And I can even use that to my advantage of the next Hyper Voice or another hit will knock out Urshifu. But yeah, I don't know what my opponent is thinking. I mean, I could see the electric attack going into the Politoed slot. Like, that seems pretty straightforward. Alright, so we are going to have our switch out. Opponent does not... So I get to see the items. Focus Sash, Yappa Berry. Cool, that's helpful to know. Urshifu's going to switch out. Okay. I'm going to see Clefable. So, not bad. And Rotom protects. Okay, I kind of like this turn, actually. This is kind of nice. Because I do get off this Hurricane, which does decent damage. Doesn't do too much. But actually now, I could probably Hurricane again and Helping Hand that Hurricane. And so the idea behind this would be to knock out Clefable early. Like, I mean, I got a free hit on Clefable. And as far as momentum, like, damage and everything, I got this. But, yeah, I feel like I can deal with Urshifu later. And the fact that Dusclops is in now super helps out with that. Like, I don't have to deal with Wicked Blows or anything like that right now. Alright, so I do get off the Helping Hand. Are we going to get a Follow Me from Clefable? No, we don't, but I do hit this Hurricane. So this will be enough to knock out Clefable, which is awesome to see. Rotom is going to go with its Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump is probably going to go into the Dusclops slot. Totally fine. I'll take that. That was a lot of damage, but I mean, a little bit under half. But, yeah. Urshifu sent out. And so I think now Urshifu's trying to attack this Dusclops. So I'm going to Hurricane into the Urshifu slot. I'll probably lose Kingdra here, and I'm going to Ally Switch. Yappa Berry is one of those pinch berries, so that's just something I have to be mindful of. I feel like the opponent would probably think I might do this, so I wouldn't blame them if they were like, oh, I actually switched my targets. But I do get off the Hurricane, because I outspeed, which is nice. Bring Urshifu down with the Focus Sash. Do I get Confusion? That would be dope if I got Confusion here, too. No Confusion, but we are going to see the Wicked Blow. Probably going to knock out Kingdra. If it went after the Kingdra slot, perfect. That's what I wanted to see. Awesome, that helps out a lot. Kingdra is going to be knocked out here. And we are going to see the Electro Web. Kind of a nice... I kind of like that. That was a nice, like... Hey, I made sure that I could survive. Or I could attack. Cool. Now with this, Rotom is now going to be tempted to attack Primarina. I'll activate my own weakness policy and then max Overgrowth. So I'm going to ally switch one more time. And then I'm going to go ahead and use... Actually, no, I'm not going to ally switch. I'm going to predict that he's going to predict that. I'm going to Nightshade. And I'm going to go ahead and max Overgrowth here. I mean, we're playing a coin toss here. I mean, because Urshifu could easily just target down the Dusclops and that would be it. But if I knock out the Rotom anyways, I think between Primarina and Politoed, I'll be able to knock out the Urshifu and whatever's left at the end. So we are going to go ahead and get this Dynamax up and running. And hopefully this will be helpful, just knocking out this Rotom right now. Urshifu could also protect or switch out. He could have switched out too, but I don't think he would have. Yeah, Protect also doesn't help him out. We're going to see the Wicked Blow, and the Wicked Blow does go into the Dusclops side. So I could have preserved Dusclops a little bit longer, but not a big deal there. We get the Electro Web, which will be pretty weak. That does decent damage, actually. Lowers my speed, but the weakness policy activates, and hopefully this will be enough to power through and knock out this Urshifu. Alright, the Rotom, might be. Here comes the max Overgrowth. A lot of damage, and we're able to knock out that Rotom, which is perfect. Exactly what I want to see here. So Urshifu is pretty low on HP, which is great. If the opponent has Duraludon and Mamoswine, that's even better. That's a Pokemon I definitely like to see out here. I'm going to go ahead and use Muddy Water on both of them. And then I'm going to target that Mamoswine slot with a Max Geyser. If I hit this Muddy Water on both Pokemon, I don't think they even know I'm Choice Scarf yet. I don't think they had that information yet. They can Dynamax their Mamoswine. Doing so, Mamoswine would have to hit something like Max Quake to survive. So I don't know. It has thick fat, so that doesn't make a difference. Oblivious also allows it to avoid Intimidate. But yeah, Mamoswine is definitely going to have to try to hit hard here. But in the rain, this is going to hurt too. I mean, I could run into a weakness policy. Okay, so we do see a Max Guard. So rams into the Max Guard, which is fine. Do I get the knockout on Urshifu because I'm Choice Scarfed. Yay! Cool. Awesome. So it's Mamoswine versus the world. Rain's over, but if I hit this next Max Geyser, I get the rain back. It is possible that this Mamoswine is the weakness policy Pokemon, which does prove some complications here, but let's see what happens. Mamoswine can only knock out one Pokemon right now, so depending on its target, it might be able to get this strong knockout, or might not. So it could also Max Rockfall. I don't think it would be able to knock out Primarina on this side. I think it might go for Politoed because of speed. But we still don't know how fast this Mamoswine is. Alright, so we get off the Muddy Water. Does a lot of damage, actually. We don't see a weakness policy activate, so that's nice. We do see the Max Quake, though. Ooh, that does a lot of damage. That special defense boost is going to be tough. And this is my last turn of Dynamax. Life Orb. So I should probably be able to knock out with this Max Geyser, honestly. Perfect! And we get that knockout. Let's go! There you go. That was awesome. And there you go. Just got to flip things on their head. Choice Scarf has been really a game changer for me. That was awesome. And I loved how I was like, you know what? I'm going to knock out this Clefable. Helping Hand, Hurricane. That was awesome. And really picking out that knockout on that Rotom. And Weakness Policy Primarina. Wow. I did not expect it to be as good as it was. But that was really helpful. For sure. Yay, got Rare Candy. Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious. So we have the Mamoswine here. It was, yeah, Oblivious, Infatuated, Taunts, Intimidates. So good call out there. We had the Talonflame coming in with Tailwind. I didn't have to worry about that. Urshifu. Urshifu was Wicked Blow. Yeah, Sucker Punch. See, if it Sucker Punched, it might have been a different story, but because they didn't know I was Choice Scarfed yet, that helped. Yappa Berry. I'm glad I was able to break through that. You had Rising Voltage. Special, okay. That's why. Yeah, and that's why it was relatively weaker, which I'm glad that I only had to deal with Electro Web. Clefable did have Follow Me, but I think it wanted to use Moonblast at that time. So that was nice to punish Clefable. And Duraludon. I'm glad I actually didn't face you. Duraludon would have been a little bit tougher, for sure. But I guess there was something on my team that convinced him not to. But yeah, we'll go ahead and stop for now. Just because I am very hungry. It is 2 o'clock my time, and I have not eaten yet for lunch. And I need to grab something to eat. But before we end, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was so much fun. I am glad we got that. Man, it was a rough start for sure, but I am glad we finally got that win rating, and hopefully we can play more. And by the end of this evening or tomorrow, we will get Master Rank in doubles. Until then, guys, y'all take it easy, and I will see you next time here on Gaming with Smiles.